I never do this cleanly. Greetings everyone and welcome to the Age of Adventure RPG. My name is GM Age and today we are playing a one-shot called The Cursed Farm. This is actually an Age of Vikings scenario, but I converted it to the Age of Adventure RPG system. This game is part of the Furiously Eclectic Discord, part of their authors series, and I'm the author of the Age of Adventure RPG. So welcome. Today we have 4 players with us who we will introduce shortly. But first of all, a bit about the adventure. The heroes all work for an adventurers guild. You all know each other. 3 of them are returning from previous adventures, and they also have a new team member joining as well. And they've all been hired to look into the matter of some suspicious events that are occurring at a farmstead. So that's the background. What we normally do with Age of Adventure to kick off, we normally work out how long it takes them to get to the location, the time of day and the weather. So without further ado, I will get our new player, Birgit. You can roll a d6 and that'll tell us the time, how long it takes to get there. The lower you roll, the shorter the travel. First roll.
Well, here's hoping.
There we go.
Hey,
all right. So it's very close by to where the guild and where you obtain your assignment. It's a 1 day's journey. So I'll get everyone to do their own character administration, where you can subtract 1 provision for yourself or pay 2 silver pieces for a meal. If you've got a large animal companion, they will take 2 provisions or 4 silver. And if you have a small companion, then they will only require half or 1 silver. So I'll get you all to do that management, and I'll trust you. If you have any problems, then you can just yell out. And let us go to Galliveil, and you can roll for the time of day as you arrive in this location. Roll d6. There's 1 day's travel, and I'm just going to highlight that in the session notes so everyone knows. 6, time of day, last light. Okay, so when you arrive at your location, the sun will just be dipping below the horizon into twilight. That's spooky. I like spooky. All right, and now the last one will be the weather. So for the weather, just going down the order, let's go Hestava. You can give us a d6 for the weather. The lower you roll, the better the weather. Oh, beautiful warm day. Okay, so no problems with the weather. Last light and 1 day journey. That's pretty good. I think who was I playing with last time? Was it Galliveil? You rolled. I think you guys rolled all 1s. At least we got 1 6 in there.
Correct.
Yeah,
we were 1s all the way until the very end.
To add a bit of spice. All right, so that sets up the scene in terms of when you arrive, what you'll be looking at in terms of the weather. The next thing we're going to do is roll for hero points. Now, you've got the option now where for returning characters, you can start with 4 hero points, or you can roll 1 dice and add 1, but the maximum is 6. And for Birgit, you can choose to start with 3 hero points or take your chances with 1 dice. So I'll get everyone to either roll or adjust their hero points, starting hero points accordingly. Whoa! He loves the... I can't believe you rolled, given we were just saying how you always roll 1s. Okay, yep, you get max 6.
Well, I maxed the last time.
Yeah, you know how to play the dice roller.
I had the best rolls.
Oh, here we go.
Look
Look what you started. Deez. You guys are going to clean up this adventure. If anyone's watching, forget it. Adventure over. Thud.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you start with the war horse and you end up with 6.
Thud starts with 2. Hestava and Galliveil with 6. And what did Birgit decide? Take the middle ground.
3. I apologize for being boring. I did choose the guarantee 3.
Now the good thing is, this is like an optional rule that I use for Age of Adventure. If returning heroes roll 6s, which Galliveil and Hestava have, their bonus 1 that they can't use for themselves, they can give to another player character. So Thud has 2, and the newbie Birgit has 3. So Galliveil, who do you want to give your point to?
I'll balance out the team a bit. Thud.
All right, Thud, you're on
You can
3.
have one more.
And Hestava, you can decide the balance. Who gets the extra?
Well, we'll keep it relatively balanced then, and Hestava will donate that point to Galliveil. No, sorry, Birgit.
I'm full.
To
Give it
Birgit?
to yeah.
No worries,
Oh, thank
Birgit.
you.
You're on 4. Good teamwork, guys. All right. So,
Very
with that admin out of the way, I will get you to the adventure, and then you'll all have a chance to introduce your characters briefly, even if it's just you're a dwarf wizard, but you can embellish it as much as you want. Not too much time, but I'll definitely give you enough time. So, you have arrived at a village called Fjallholt's Crest. Now, because this is a Viking scenario that I've imported, there are a few, is it Norse? I don't know what even the term is, but there are a few names and locations that oh, you want to go for it? Oh, beautiful. All right. Because I was going to type in what it is, but I'm happy to go with your spelling. So you've arrived at a community called Fjallholt's Crest, which we've put in which someone has typed in the session notes. It's a rural community. Oh, I better change to the right screen, eh? Go. Let's get this puppy on the way. All right, Fjallholt's.
Ooh, nice.
Fjallholt's Crest. Yes. Okay, and as you arrive in your location, as we mentioned in the introduction, it is getting dark. So you know the sun's dipping below those mountains. Most fires are getting lit, braziers, etc. Although being warm weather, a lot of people are outdoors, either tending to animals, like getting them back into their pens, or finishing off or starting dinner. It seems like a very peaceful community. You make your way past scattered farmsteads, small hamlets, before arriving at your contact's location. He's the local chieftain, and his name is Sigmunda. There's one for you to spell if you want to spell, otherwise I'll paste it in there. Sigmunda. So he's the person that has hired the adventurers, so you don't have to worry about payment, because once your adventure is completed, Sigmunda will let the guild know and you'll get paid your contracts. You all have individual contracts which you'll get paid at the end. So you arrive at Sigmunda's hut. I'll show you what he looks like. He's this gentleman here. We'll say he's at the front hut. Okay, I'll just put him there. All right. So you arrive there, and you ask some questions to find your way. The main thing you notice is that it's a human community, and there's many people looking at your party, at the non-humans per se, and one of the strange large creatures that happens to be moving along as well. But no one is saying anything. I mean, if anything, they're just grabbing the kids because they're more curious. You're obviously a sight that they don't see very often. And as you are making your way, you see this orange-clad gentleman, quite portly, step out of his hut, and he says in his sort of broken common, "Oh, these are the adventurers that I have summoned forth to help us here in Fjallholt's Crest." And there's a hey, and sort of a few people clap, suggesting that maybe this guy's not as popular as he thinks he is. But he makes the pronouncement, and then everyone sort of returns to their duties. He seems to be like a senior, or he's been you were told that he's the local chieftain, so you assume he's in charge of this community. And he says, "Ah, you must be from the Adventurers Guild. Please come inside." And as he says that, let us introduce our cast. I'll go bottom to top, so Birgit will be last. Let's start with Thud Grub Eater.
Hello, so this is Thud Grubita, elf friend, toad rider, chariot slayer, and keeper of the crown of salad. So he's a massive orc riding a toad with what he seems to be wearing is basically something which looks like a crown, but it's totally made out of green leaves, cherry tomatoes, chilies, spices hanging down. And it seems like he has a green sideband as well. He's carrying a massive two-handed axe, and he's riding very tall, just looking around at everyone, assessing the situation. He's basically measuring anyone he sees. That's Thud, Grabita.
Now, funnily, thank you for that. I don't know what I've done, whether I've made some bananas, but I used to have images in your gallery of, I'm pretty sure I put in your gallery of your crown. It's not there anymore.
Yes, I have it.
Oh,
yes.
Do you have it?
I'll have a look.
Yeah, if you've got the picture, can you put it in your gallery so I can?
Will do. Yep.
Yeah, I can show people. Sorry, I should have checked that beforehand. But I will show the giant toad that he rides, mounted toad, who is quite happy at the short journey that was from the guild, and also that it was quite warm. He seemed at every opportunity to be quite content with the warmer weather, old Freddy. So thank you, Thud. Let us move to Hestava.
So Hestava of the Hidden Diagram is a human cleric. She travels trying to uncover truths before they vanish forever in this world, and she will and she's a bit of a dogmatist, and in particular a disliker of falsehoods. She aims to expose those whenever she can find them.
Nice, I just shared the picture there, and I think, is your gallery up to date? Oh yeah, your gallery is ready with the post Hestava or Hestava. I always pronounce that wrong. Thank you very much. And you have a trusty warhorse that seems to always pull towards the other warhorse that's with the party. They always try to be close by for some reason. And
I think the naming of both of them is a distinct reference to Hestava's lack of imagination. One's called Red, the other one's called Blue.
Very good. And a reminder that Red is on loan. Speaking of being on loan, Galliveil.
Hello. Yes, Galliveil. Noble elf, and out to just help the world with my trusty friend Orfrey. Enjoying the warmer weather after our last adventure through some icy landscapes. And very grateful to be astride Red on loan from Hestava.
Yes, has made your journey from the guild much easier. And
I can see that. I can see that Sigmunda is quite popular around here. Side note above table, that Galliveil is a little bit like Sigmunda in that he thinks he's popular amongst his local people, but they're kind of glad that he's gone gallivanting off into the wider world.
So you're thinking they're going to have a
so he's got that same kind of like. He's got that same kind of like. Lack of people skills, like lack of judgment of people skills and stuff, to not get the subtleties of everyone's kind of looks at Sigmunda in this town.
Okay, nice. And I notice you have Orfrey, who's fluttering around in the nice weather, keeping his distance from the majority of the party and returning to you now and then to tweet some secrets in your ear. Last but not least...
Yeah, Galliveil thinks he's looking after Orfrey, but Orfrey's looking after Galliveil.
It's got the eagle eye. Last but not least, Birgit.
So I'm going to assume that Birgit probably walked the entire way there, but because the weather was nice and because it was during the day, she had a lovely time, and she's just arrived in the village and she's having a look around at all these wonderful horses and chickens and things, and just thinking that, life in human villages looks pretty swell. She kind of walks up to everybody else, I assume maybe at least like 45 minutes after they've arrived, and just says, hello, I'm Birgit, I'm new, and I'm here to help. And some of you may be aware, because she's probably told you when you got assigned to her, that she has taken on this job to try and prove that being a wizard is as helpful as being a cleric, because her mother was very disappointed when she failed out of cleric school and instead had to become a wizard.
Had a lower entry score. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, exactly. Her UAC wasn't the best.
That's it. Hestava quite likes that. You like being elevated above the rest, don't you, Hestava?
She believes all folk are equal.
Oh, okay. Well, you can clearly tell with this party who's on their first
usually
adventure.
because they're equally capable of performing evil. But yes, all folks are evil.
Yeah, very good. All right, so with the party assembled, and you can tell, I was going to say, you can tell the heroes that have adventured before all have trusty steeds, and Birgit on her first adventure has to travel by foot. But the weather was good. As I said, the sun dipping below the sky, and you're inside Sigmunder's hat. He has some servants, and they're pouring water. He's just finished a meal. Doesn't seem to be offering you any. The servants are just taking things away, but they do fill your cups with water. And he says, I need you to help one of my farm owners. Her name is Bjorg. What is her surname? He will tell you that. Her name is Bjorg Finsdeuter. And her farmstead is currently experiencing a lot of suffering. I need you to travel there along the eastern road that winds at the base of the low hills. It's about a 4-hour journey. And find out what's causing these issues at her farm and deal with it. Once you've completed your objective, come back and let me know how you went. That'll be all. And he waves his hand. Now at this point, we will do turn order. So if you can all roll 6 dice, and you can enter your own turn orders. Just remember to also enter the same number for your companions and include the first 2 numbers in the dice roll. So for example, for Galliveil, you'll enter 13.12 next to you and Orphrey. Thud will enter 21.31. Birgit will enter 29.36. That's a mighty roll. Damn. And Hestava.
I was using the buttons on the top of the character sheet. Now I can't see the other option. Where the hell is it?
Oh.
Look at the notes turn order page. There's a turn order roll D6, 6D.
Ah, yes. The 6 dice is on the turn order page only under notes. That is correct. So if you go to notes and then open turn order, you'll see there's a roll turn order 6D at the top. There we go, 15.14. Enter your numbers and I'll sort this for the... so Thud, enter for Freddy as well. The same number. So when I sort it, companions act on the same turn.
Sorry to be bothered. Is you add the first 3 and the last 3?
You're adding it in the first column, not the notes column. So just in the first column, just enter 29.36. The notes is for, say, you get injured or there's some curse on you or something. We'll do a note. So where you got the 3 6s is the first 2 dice results after for the total. Everyone has done it. All right, let us do sort. Okay, so Birgit, you can act first. You're in the tent and you've just been told briefly of your assignment and then waved off as he starts picking his teeth with a toothpick.
We need Freddy
I think...
as well. Sorry.
Oh,
We
Freddy.
need Freddy's initiative as well.
Oh, yeah, whoever's controlling Freddy, just make sure you enter your turn order the same number as Freddy.
Okay, yep.
Go, Birgit.
Okay, I'm going to say that Birgit is going to say, okay, so 4 hours, and it is kind of evening. So perhaps it might be better if we maybe stay the night here, and then go over there in the morning, unless it's an exceptionally well lit road. You know,
what is your name, little one?
Birgit.
He gets out a notepad, he dips his quill in some ink, and he scribbles something and doesn't reply.
I'm going to say that Birgit probably hasn't had too many jobs at this point and doesn't realize that that's a bad review, so she's just going to keep smiling blithely.
Thud, what do you want to do after seeing this?
Okay, Thud basically stands right in front of the chief, towering over him.
He looks
You
quite
look like a
afraid.
mighty chief. Your village is very good. You are keeping it well, and you seem to be a mighty chief. It's been a long journey, and the light has gone down. It's dark. You really don't want the Adventurers Guild, people like us, people who are capable of great things, to be walking around where villages are sleeping, do you? Maybe if we start tomorrow, if you could feed us, give us a place to sleep, we will start tomorrow first thing, and we'll have this solved before you know it.
Okay, I'll get you to make the first roll. He looks quite scared of you, and he tries to hide the note that he was writing.
Yep.
You can make a
I'm smiling, but all you can see is a mouthful of sharp teeth.
You can make a parlay roll, but I'll give you a bonus dice for your intimidating stature. So you can roll 2 dice, but it is a mind check parlay.
And I lobby for one more help check from Birgit for going first and suggesting the practicalities of travelling during daylight.
Okay, Birgit, I'll get you to make a help roll first then. Roll 2 dice. You need 1 success, and it's a mind check.
All right. Thank you for suggesting that. I was sort of like, I was wondering, is it too early for me to use the help action?
Gotta get every advantage we can get with these rolls.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 2 successes.
I think that was good.
Yep, you only need 1. You don't get hero point on help, but that means you get a bonus dice.
Yeah.
Bud, so you can roll 3 dice, and you need every dice you can get, that's for sure.
Ooh, I've got 5, 4, and 4, 13.
Yep.
I should have rolled lower, right?
Success. Yeah, no, that's it's a mind check. So your proficiency is 5, so you can get a hero point if you need it. Oh, you haven't added your... What have you done with your hero points? No, what you've got there is the maximum 6, and you had 3, so I'll just add another one. So you've got 4 now.
4. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's out of 6. So hopefully I'll just quickly check everyone else's is set up correctly. Out of 6, out of 6, out of 6, yeah. Okay, he looks at you and he says, I've paid good coin for adventurers to sort this problem out straight away, but who am I to say what the modus operandi is of the Adventurers Guild? And he snaps his fingers, and you see the servants sort of start panicking and try to get some meal together for you. He says, please, Mr. Orc, I do not want any trouble. He looks scared.
No, you will not get any trouble from me. But please take care of my friends and myself. It's been a long day, and I sort of move my hand and point towards all my other friends.
As you do that, one of the people you are pointing towards is the next person in the turn order, which is Hestava.
So Hestava will be perhaps she was taken aback or taken slightly by surprise by Birgit's enthusiasm and jumping in front of the queue, as it were. But she'll have expected pretty much what Thud did, so that won't have been a surprise. And I think she'll just take a step back and allow allow our last player to take their turn. She'll be watching what these two people who are new to her, how they're doing their thing.
As you remain silent and just sort of move a bit back to let the other two who've enforced the decision for not to leave straight away, he does look directly at you and says, you sir, are you the leader of this group? Not sure why he's picked you as that, but he...
Or why he's...
Oh, sorry, you, ma'am.
Called Hestava, sir.
Apologies. He doesn't say sir. I'll rewind that. Maybe in your alter ego he might, but no, he says, "Oh, you, my lady, are you in charge of this group?"
Anyone who thinks that they're in charge of a group of adventurers is trying to herd cats.
Oh,
so...
I do not mean any offence.
Yeah. Well, none taken. Thud speaks wisely in support of Birgit, and I have no particular qualms about us continuing, but it does indeed make sense for us to be fresh and likely to make the journey in anything other than darkness. I do not wish my horses to be harmed on the trail.
He says,
so traveling at night is a fool's errand, but if there is urgency required, we will be leaving immediately.
Well, as soon as you say that in your calm manner, he looks towards Thud before answering you to make sure he's allowed to speak. Then, given that Thud seems okay, he looks to you and says, "Oh, of urgency, there is a great need. Bjorg would not ask for help unless it was needed. I fear that a night, again alone with the peril she faces, could be perilous."
And how long will it take us to get there?
4 hours by foot, but perhaps on your steeds, with haste, you might halve that time. And you are all fresh. You've had an uneventful journey, and you have...
Yes, but you did say it was 1 hour before sunset.
Correct.
So Hestava will shake her head and say, that means we will be traveling for 3 hours at night. So question, is it going to be a full moon?
Yes, we have been blessed by the gods with full moon at this time of season. It is perfect weather. I do not feel there'll be any troubles. We have not got problems with bandits along the routes, if that is what concerns you. But your destination at Bjorg's Farmstead is a matter of urgency, hence why I've called upon your aid.
We will converse and then return to you. But
okay, his servants are preparing.
Initially, we do need the steeds taken care of, including the toad, for food.
Of course. His servants are already organizing things for yourselves, like they're getting out meals and preparing what they can, what's left in the larder. And you see a stable hand get summoned and then sent out to also bring provisions or the necessary resources for your horses. He's not too sure what to do with the toad, but you can let him know. But before that, Galliveil, you see this. Sounds like you're not going to be heading off perhaps straight away. Thoughts?
Well, Galliveil, I think, would be oblivious to the racist undertones of the human chief talking to the only human in the party, and would just be settled into thinking, "Oh, I'm going to sleep in a nice, comfy bed for the night." And he'd turn to Orphrey and go, "Orphrey, why don't you go play with the children for a while? Keep them happy with us." And Orphrey, sort of being a little bit aloof, is probably just going to be a bit hesitant and maybe flit around kind of like a cat that's annoyed by a toddler around the kids in the village, but not go too far. But on the insistence that we travel in the night or travel immediately, Galliveil sort of say, "Well, Orphrey does have a is very good at keeping watch from afar. It can fly up and keep us safe during the night for a while. And I suppose we could travel with lanterns.
As Sigmunda notices you start conversing and senses that there may be some of you who want to leave straight away, because he nods when he hears what you say, he says, please, you need some privacy, and he takes you into a separate section where he pours some wine, or if you do want any ale or any your preferred beverage. He tries to make things more comfortable. There's like cushions in there as well, as you're basically setting up a meal for you. So as they're doing that, you can now discuss whether you wish to... actually, before you discuss what you want to do, the farmhand says, "What of that toad, sir?" says to Sigmunda. And Sigmunda just sort of raises his shoulders.
Oh, that is Freddy. Freddy likes chickens, so
His eyes
what
sort
you
of
need
pop
to
up.
do is place a chicken on a barrel a bit far away from him, and he likes to stick out his tongue and grab the chicken. Just be very far away when he starts eating. You really don't want to be caught in the tongue of his.
Orfrey, stay away from Freddy, please.
Yes,
That is a
there's
good
a
yes.
chicken flying around. No, Sigmunda says, yes, very well. And then he scribes on his little notepad, and he says, "Make it so." And he, the little stable hand goes into the kitchen, and you hear the squawk of a chicken. And they leave you to discuss whether you want to head off or wait the night. So I'll allow you all to speak out of turn to decide what you want to do.
I guess there's the practicalities versus the the resource, I suppose. The danger versus the danger to us traveling versus the danger to the help we've been hired to provide.
I think there's the concern of dealing... I mean, we took a day to get there, so if it was too serious, then the villagers would have had to have attended to it. And there's the potential that we arrive to deal with a problem when it's dark. I think Birgit's main concern is that she is quite short, doesn't have a horse, and would potentially be traveling on her own behind everybody else. Well, everybody else gets there in 3 hours. So that may be part of her concern, is traveling at night alone.
So I do have Pathfinder skill, which helps with navigation and sort of tracking and stuff, which would aid us in, I guess, difficult situations. I could also have the spell Dark Sea. I suppose you'd also have that too, Birgit, as a wizard, to be able to see in grayscale for the time. And as I said, we've got the scouting of Orfrey and lanterns, which we can use if we've got those equipment, or torches. I've got some torches at least. I suppose we'd probably want to ask about any more information about the danger that's because obviously they've hired us from the guild, so they've understood a particular aspect of the danger that they're wanting us to deal with. So, but I reckon Hestava should probably be the one to converse, because there'll be less. I mean, Thud, definitely you can be the standover if they're not forthcoming, but I think Hestava they'll be more open to being human.
Yeah. Maybe
want,
Birgit could talk with the children.
Yeah. Can we get here from I guess Hestava and then Thud, just to make sure we've all got some input on this?
Yeah. Yes.
Thud looks at Hestava. Hestava, what do humans have against flavoring their food? I've eaten in lots of human villages. None of them put any spices in their food. He takes a chili, he takes a few tomatoes from his ground of salad and a few other bits and pieces, mixes them up, puts it in the bowl and starts stirring it. Sorry.
Would you like some elven berries to go with that?
Yes, thank you. I may have missed the better part of this conversation. Are we deciding to stay, or do you want to go?
We're in the middle of that. I guess if the danger's great enough, then we almost have an obligation, like being hired by the guild, to try and make that safe as soon as possible. And if the danger comes in the night, and
Right.
now and Bjorg Finnsdeuter perishes in the night, then that's not very good on our reputation. We're not going to get hired for future missions, yada yada yada. So being mercantile kind of types, like yes, take the rest and provisions where we can, but if it's going to affect our reputation, that's what I'm concerned about at the moment.
I understand.
Yeah,
Thud does have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah.
If we are worried about the dwarf wizard walking, I have a few pieces of gold. Maybe this chief over here can sell us a cart.
Carts do not move all that quickly, Thud.
They did have horses in here, so we can hire horses just for the journey out and back. Or that
Well,
we
maybe
can have
they'll
them
let us borrow one. We could
Yeah.
ask if we could borrow one.
Certainly, if they want us to go tonight, then they can lend us those to help facilitate that. Sorry, Hestava, do you want to chip in with anything?
No, I think that's fine for now.
Are you happy to do the
She
negotiations?
doesn't have anything. She doesn't have anything
Yeah.
else to say at the moment.
Are you happy to do the negotiations? Because I think it may help a little bit with their disposition.
Yes.
And I can do the help action by standing nearby and looking sincere.
Looking very, very short leg, look, exaggerating the shortness of your legs or something like that. Of like, we need a
Yeah,
horse.
just squatting a little.
Just walk around, but like with so many steps. It just takes so
Yes,
many
yes,
steps
exactly.
to get just any distance.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
she can attempt to do that. Yeah.
All right, so the party decides they will head off, but they want to do some parley with Sigmason in case to try to gain some favors. So Hestava and Birgit go back into the main hall while the others, I mean, you can start eating the meal that's provided, and you know that your companions are being looked after. So how are you helping, Birgit, as you and Hestava step out into the main hall? What does it look like? What does your help look like?
First I'm going to ask, how's Hestava walking? Like, is she doing like a stride of pride, or is she being more sort of laid back in her entrance?
Well, she's not particularly laid back at any point. She is dogmatist, wedded to capturing truths and denying lies. But that's not quite the same as being arrogant or prideful about it. So as long as, but she's no wilting flower.
She looks serious.
So I'm going to say that as seriously as Hestava enters the room, will be as amusingly as Birgit walks in. She's going to take, at everyone else's advice, little half steps. So it looks like she is she looks like a toy poodle following a Great Dane.
Oh, so you're elevating
just little,
Hestava's
lots of
posture.
little. Yeah, she just makes Hestava look more impressive, and also makes herself look more pathetic and more in need of some assistance in order to arrive on time. So
do
yeah,
you
she just
think-
like teeters.
So do you think your action is, or your help action is a might or a mind-based action? The shrinking
I
violet.
think that is definitely psychological, so I'm gonna call it mind.
Okay.
Because that also
Roll 2
helps.
dice and try and get. You need at least one success. 2 dice.
Okay, well that is one success.
Ooh, snuck it in. All right. So, as you walk in, Hestava, with the minute stature of Birgit, as if she sort of cowers in your shadow, you see straight away Sigmundson look up to you and says, I gather that your party has come to see reason?
A party always sees reason. But the point here is whether or not you're being truthful and honest about the urgency. You are asking us to ride at night, which will very much put our animals at risk by the simple fact of being unable to see the path clearly. So we are happy to move on and tackle the problem, but you need us to get there in time, and we need one problem removed from that. We will hold your settlement responsible if our horses become maimed because of the journey, and we also need one of our newer members to be provided with a steed of some sort.
I'm very
Preferably a-
small.
He looks taken aback.
Yes, and as Birgit says, a very small one. Hestava will say, yes, quite obviously a pony, preferably one of good nature.
He sort of he looks taken aback a bit, and he says, "My good lady, I have paid good coin to the guild for you to provide all your resources to undertake this assignment yourselves. Roll a parlay."
And our good sense would be to wait here for the evening.
Okay, make a
Because that would
parlay
make-
roll. You get a bonus dice because of Birgit's stature, so roll 2 dice. If you get
And she gets a parlay. She's also got parlay the skill.
3 dice. You need 2 successes to get everything you demand. No, 1
think that's only
success. Do you want to use a hero point to re-roll those dice?
Yes. And remind me, did she re-roll all of them to re-roll,
All
or
of the
just
dice.
the 2?
Yes, all of the dice. You need 2 successes. That looks better. That is 2 successes. He says, look, of course, I understand. You are undertaking a great service for us. I must remember that. I do want you very much to help Bjorg. She's a respected and good-hearted person. Yes, I'm sure we can find a pony for your friend here. What was the other?
To be clear.
And also, I will make a note of your companions, and if there are any losses or injuries, I will also compensate that. Yes. Let us not dally in particulars. Please, head there with haste.
To be clear, other than any other injury that your horse might suffer simply because of the travel for the evening, we take full responsibility for its care and its condition in being returned.
He nods and he says,
Yes, I love horses.
I appreciate your understanding. And agree to your terms. With that,
Thank you. You're a good man.
he doesn't even look at
Like
you.
pats him on the shoulder.
Oh, okay. You pat him on the shoulder. He sort of just brushes it a little bit. Tries not to make it like he's doing it because you touched him, but his clothes do look like he put some care in them, even though he does look like a bit of a clown. But having said that, he calls to his stable hand to get a pony for you. So if you are able to, with the magic of the interwebs, you can drag an image of the pony into your gallery on your tab. If you have a look in your gallery tab, actually I'll just make a line there. You should be able to hover, like when you put your cursor there, it changes into different things, H1, H2. There is one for upload image. You can also drag an image in there. So if you can find a pony somehow, not compulsory, but if you do, you can just drop it into your gallery. I will write here, if that's too much, don't worry. At the bottom of your equipment, I'm going to put you've got a pony, and it has a stamina of 2. So if you look at the bottom of your equipment, I've just done a little note there that you've got a pony.
As a shortcut, could you just drag one of the existing horse tokens in and just label it on the screen?
Yeah, whatever. If you guys want to do it, you can. I mean, you can drag an image onto the screen as well. But if you have it on your character sheet, or even if you can find a token, if I get a chance to do it in between, I will. But with that all said, and the party terms agreed to, and you gaining a pony as well as some favourable terms for a level of protection for the companions travelling at night, you hit the road, and before you know it, you are travelling. It's well lit due to the night being quite pleasant, and also the full moon. So there is no need of any light sources. You are able to see along the road, but if you do track off the road into the low hills or into the brush, then you will need some sort of light, as there are a lot more shadows there. But traveling along this road, you've got two options.
Quick minor point.
Yes.
Can I just throw a quick minor point to Storm? Storm, you've still got full. It's not something we discussed across ourselves, but I think you should still have full feed for the horse, because Hestava paid silver for both of her horses when we did our. Okay.
I paid for feed and then used it up on the journey because I was. But I'm going to say Hestava paid the silver whilst we were journeying, so yeah, your feed didn't go down. Okay, cool.
Yeah, well done. I see there's a little
I've got
prancing
feed separately
pony there.
on red.
Good work, whoever did that.
Cool.
Thank you.
I apologize that it's not in a round thing, but I liked the picture.
No problem at all.
That's cool.
Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is move you to the next scene, because the journey is uneventful and without peril. The only thing I need to know is you can travel at normal pace, which is walking pace. Just because you've got a steed, it just means that you would have had full checks if there were any obstacles or anything like that, because you wouldn't have to do any of your own physical toil. But it's a quite easy road travel there, so there's no problem. But you do get the option, if you wish, to do what's called double time, to halve the time, where you need to make rolls like for riding, which is might. So my question is, do you want to, go try to halve the time it's going to take there, or you're happy just to go at a pace that's still brisk but it's not going to gain any time?
What's the consequence of failure?
You could fall and get 1 point of damage.
We didn't ask what the peril was to understand what the rush was either.
I had hoped that maybe we could have spent, as we were leaving, maybe we could ask some of the people in the village.
100%. You can still ask
Sigmason. I had mentioned that.
Yeah, you did mention that. All right, so before we leave then, I'll give everyone one extra round for questions, starting with Birgit.
Ooh.
Anything else you want to know about the adventure? He's quite open to answering questions.
Okay, so I have two questions. One, what is my pony's name?
He says it is the custom, as the pony has not yet been taken outside of this village, for the first rider to name it.
Oh, Birgit is so excited about this. She says, "I'm going to name him as soon as we leave." And then she takes herself and her pony to just find the nearest village children that she can, because she feels like Hestava has got the adults all stitched up, and if she's got a chance at being helpful, it's probably with people that find her a little bit amusing.
Yeah,
I suppose
the kids definitely flock to you and the pony. It's like a double win for them.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, you can pat him if you're gentle." She's like, we're about to head off to see Bjorg Finn's daughter. We heard that she might need some help." And she just sort of leaves that open while she's letting people pet the pony.
Yeah, the adults come closer, knowing that you're there to help, and also when you mention Bjorg, they say, "Oh, bless her heart and bless the gods, child, for sending you to help her." And then another adult says, "She is a good woman, a strong woman. For her to ask for help, there must be great peril indeed." And then another says, "Oh, perhaps she has done something to cause the ire of the gods." And then others say, no, she gives the graces and good pays good ode to the gods. That would not be the case. Well, we know one thing for sure: if Bjorg is asking for help, she definitely needs it. And the kids don't give you any information, but some of them draw, paint something on the pony and put a flower on her or something, or him, depending on what you'd like. So that's the information you get
Let's
from the party.
let's go with Kelvin.
What-
Okay, I will. I'm going to ask one follow-up question. I'm just going to say, do you have any clue about what she might have needed help with? We just want to make sure that we help her out as best we can.
I'll get you. Actually, you can make a parlay roll, and I'll give you a bonus dice because you're using the pony and your abilities there. So parlay, you get to roll. You're not skilled in parlay, no, you're not. So you get to roll 2 dice. You got 1 dice plus 1 dice for the fact that you're using the pony as a friendship thing. That's 2 successes. You get a hero point. And what was your question?
Was just wondering if they knew anything about the specifics, just so that we can, give the best help.
One of them says, word has reached us that her crops are failing and her farm is dying. She will not be able to last in the remote community much longer. Nothing grows on the farm anymore. I'm telling you, the gods have cursed that farm. Don't say that. I'm sure there is some explanation that this fine lass will help us with.
Birgit's going to say, thank you so much. We're going to do our absolute best to help her out as much as we can. And you may have noticed, we've even got a cleric with us. So if there's anything that needs help with the gods, she's going to be able to handle it. She's an excellent cleric. I'm going to say Birgit's heard a lot about Hestava.
A cleric, they are blessed by the gods. I feel good tidings. And, some start ringing bells as they herald you from the community with good graces. Let's go to the next person. Thud, did you want to try to garner anything? I'll assume that Birgit shares this with the party.
Yes. Let's just say I have shared. At an appropriate point, I will share this information.
Yep.
I will ask in a very loud voice, does this village have a truth sayer? Any magic user? Anyone who can, a truth sayer? Magic user, fortune teller? Anyone who can read bones?
You make that pronouncement loud and proud. Most people go into their houses, close the door and lock the windows when you start belting that out. Atop Freddy, they don't seem they're either fearful of you or there's just something about you that seems ominous for anyone to interact with you. But having said that, I will give you a parlay roll to see if your command falls on any welcome ears.
Yep.
Make a 1 dice roll.
I will also, if I could I get a bonus if I say I'm willing to pay coin for this information and I shake my pouch?
Okay, yes. So I'll give you 2 dice. The promise of coin might meek out someone.
Ooh, 5 and a 3.
Yeah, okay. That's you're on full hero points, aren't you?
No, I think I.
Oh no, yep, I'll give you 1. With that, an old man steps out, and a few people sort of look admonishingly at this person, and he's looking up at the sky. You realise he's either pretending to be blind or is blind, and he says, "Did someone ask for a soothsayer? And did I hear the jingle of coin?"
Yes.
He follows your voice and he touches Freddy. "Oh, such a strong horse. Clammy, but strong." And he puts out his hand.
I put in 1 silver piece. I said, so tell me about this Bjorg.
"Yes, what do you wish to know, brave adventurer?" And he takes the coin and he bites it in what's left of his rotted teeth, and he puts it in his pouch, and he keeps his hand out in case there was some possibility of that was the first coin of many.
Yes, so she seeks aid, and your chief thought that it was serious enough to call us. What's wrong? Tell me something that would help us, would aid us.
Okay, roll a d6. Lower the better.
A sec. Oh dear Lord. I got a 6.
He says, yes, yes. And my memory's coming back now. And he just puts his hand out. It's nearly there. It's on the tip of my tongue. Just, I'm old now. I'm finding it a bit hard to remember.
I understand. I take out 1 silver. I put this on his palm. And I grab his whole hand with my hand and says, I'm being generous here, old man.
Yes, of course. I do not mean any contempt. Any offering is good for an old man like me. Bjorg, yes. She's a farmer, a good farmer at that. Has a family, a strong family. About 2 to 6 hours away from here. Will that suffice? He looks at you sort of sheepishly.
I know that much. What ails her? What's wrong? What's worrying her?
What ails her? He starts stepping away from you, scratching his head to get out of melee distance.
Don't be afraid. I will not hurt you. You're just testing my patience.
I need to commune. I need to commune with the stars. Give me to the morning, great warrior, and I will have this information. I will look towards the heavens, and they will speak to me. I promise you. Thank you.
Old man, I will give you till the end, until all my friends have finished talking. Then I'll come to you and ask. You better have an answer by then.
He says, yes. And you see him walking towards the tavern. You see a few of the other farmers sort of laughing at you and him as he sort of starts going from a walk to a quick trot. And then he sort of does a quick run and he goes into the tavern.
I turn to others and say, well, I think I'll be coming back and paying him a visit after we're done. And that's my turn.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Hestava.
I think Hestava will have stayed in the hut with the main guy, and she won't particularly say anything for what feels like an unnecessarily long time. She'll just observe him.
He finishes picking his teeth and bossing people around. He looks at his clock, or his not his clock, his, I don't know how they tell time in those days, but he looks at whatever that you did. He looks outside at the stars and the moon, and he says, I think you should be getting on. Your party seems to be ready to leave.
I agree. It will be good to get moving again, but we will be coming back in order to provide you with the information that we find. But be cautioned, please.
Cautioned?
My ideology does not accept untruths, and not telling us anything we might need to know that you already know would be an untruth.
Of course.
So,
of course.
Is there anything you would like to let us know that would not breach that basic pact?
You are suggesting that there is some information I have not told you? I've told you everything I know.
There is always information people do not tell us. This is the way of the world. People are unfortunately embarrassed sometimes, and they have a tendency to hide these things.
Do you want to make another parlay roll? Or it looks as though he is not holding back, but if there's some sort of secret things, you can make another roll just to press him. Roll 2 dice.
I'll let you figure out what it is, but this is more about a promise of him having to answer for anything that he doesn't tell us, rather than a specific query for anything else. It's just so that he knows who Hestava will be in the future.
He says, "I give you my word, Hestava. You are a cleric. I would never seek to irk the gods or have their wrath upon me." What did you roll? 3 and a 6.
5 and five. Sorry, 3 and a 6.
Yep, 2 successes. All right, I'll give you a hero point.
Oh, I forgot to add in the extra one for her parlay, didn't I?
No, that was because you only get
All right.
normally 1 dice. So
Okay,
2 dice
you-
per
okay.
parlay. Yeah, that's fine. So
You
got
already
2
did it. Cool.
successes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So with those 2 successes, you know, he tells you one extra bit of information, which he sort of says, "Oh, I should say that what I know of the peril is that it is something affecting her farm and its livelihood. And as I said, I give my utmost respect to you, a human cleric, one of the gods, that you are shepherding these sheep to a greater purpose. You have my word that I am not holding any information, nor would I want to jeopardize Bjorg safety and goodwill for her and her family. Something very bad, I believe, has befallen her farm, and we desperately need your help, brave cleric." He seems a lot more serious and less jovial and pompous. You know, as the night has gone on, we'll say you've spent probably half an hour to an hour there. As night falls now. Last but not least,
Let's say half an hour, because Hestava would want to crack on because of the
Okay.
because of the night time.
Galliveil, to finish us off before you head on.
As a forest of the elf, I'm curious: is the threat a plant or animal in nature, or disease? Is it affecting the crops, or is it a creature? Signs of creatures, or what's normally on the farm?
You are Sigmunda?
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, the farm."
Yeah, I would have stayed back.
they
I would have
have-
stayed back feasting. And
Yes, he
questions.
says he looks towards Hestava, you know, in case he needs permission to speak to you, or you know, needs to direct questions through Hestava, but eventually says to you, "Oh, it is a farm with animals and crops. But as in terms of what is causing this peril, I know not, my elf friend."
Are the animals affected, or just the crops?
I do not know. I do not have that information. I just know that I would suggest it would be both, but to be 100% truthful, I am not 100% sure. I'm hoping you can find that out.
Okay. That's me done. I'm thinking with my, the Pathfinder thing, it's got a little bit of knowledge of nature and fauna and flora and stuff like that. Thinking the terrain's probably going to be open farmland, not necessarily like tucked tightly into dense woods or anything, so it's going to give us decent visibility when we have good light. And it's going to be a matter of open land, potentially some farm animals, some small
He confirms
buildings.
to you
So
that
that's
it
enough
is
information
like
for
that.
me.
Yeah, he actually says that it's an open
So that's
farm.
enough information for me. I'm on good.
All right. So, do you want to make haste with a riding roll, or are you happy just to travel, take the 4 hours?
Hestava will encourage us to make haste.
Is there anything we can do to assist, especially Birgit, who is less experienced rider, or at least has not ridden into town? Is there anything that we can do to assist? I don't know
You can.
what that might be.
What I'll assume is
Whether
that
it's like-
everyone helps each other. So everyone will get 2 dice, and you only need 1 success if you make haste, because there's no peril.
Could it be like Freddy's tongue, like catches Birgit if she's about to fall off the horse kind of thing?
I would not say no. I would not say no, thank you.
I don't know.
Or
how big
Thud
his
riding
tongue
along
is, but-
beside, like with his strong muscular arm, just sort of catching Birgit.
Yeah, we'll see. If you
Birgit falls
fail,
kind of thing.
if you fail, there'll be one person that can help with something. But we'll say that everyone's helping each other to make sure the ride's safe. So you can roll 2 dice, and you need 1 success. So one of the dice has to be equal or under your might. So Thud, as you bound and hop on Freddy, everyone can roll 2 dice.
I'm going to need to hero point to roll 3 instead. Is
yep,
that all right?
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll just see where
Just
it
because
all
I've got
fits.
max, I may as well start using them.
I failed.
Okay, that's all right.
I succeeded in 1 direct on my proficiency.
Yep, if you roll your proficiency number, you can add another hero point. So as you are bounding through the moonlit night, the road is quite well made, and there is no obstacles or terrain to cause you any direct peril, but the riding itself, you find for one of you, or Birgit, for some reason the pony rears up at something. Something spooks it as it's going, and you lose your grip and realize that you are heading down a tumbling to the road. You can, if you wish, use a hero point to re-roll to save yourself. Otherwise, one of the party will get a chance to try to aid you.
Birgit has detect. Would that help her? Like uneven ground, like just bracing a little bit before uneven ground. Would that help?
Who's that?
For
Me.
Birgit.
Yeah.
Has detect.
No, it doesn't help. You weren't. It was basically the pony failed. You failed to direct.
It's a physical. Yeah.
It was physical
Worth a try.
ride. Do you want to use a hero point to re-roll?
I am going to.
Add a hero
Okay.
point
Would
to roll
it be
initial
more
dice.
would it be more amusing if someone had to help me? Is my thought.
It's up to you. You can either try
We
and save
don't
yourself.
have much health, so you want to save yourself as much as possible. 'Cause
I
it doesn't take many
will.
hits to get bad.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I will. I can't remember if I've already actually subtracted a hero point or not. Is my problem. I'm going to take one away. I'm going to do a re-roll. But I am going to have Birgit as her pony does a little bit of a rear. She's just going to say, Pudding, no, because she has named him Pudding.
Nice.
That is one success. So I'm
That's it.
going to
Well
hope
done.
that's
well
enough.
done.
But-
Yes.
Okay.
With that,
Does she get the hero point back? Two?
Oh, you do. You do. Well done. Yeah, you rolled your proficiency number. So, in all of that play, even though it seems as though Pudding does now and then maybe get spooked a lot easier than the more trusted, experienced steeds, Birgit's able to navigate successfully without peril. Offrey just flies along, being aloof as she is, and before you know
The
it,
detecting along the way.
yep, there's no
If
perils.
Freddy's at gallop, does that mean that Thud ends up seating? Because of the way the toad moves, right? Like it's
He's got
a whole
floating-
series of jumps,
Yeah, he's got a floating
and
saddle.
he's been doing it for 2 hours. I mean, even Thud surely at some point must get.
Well, you know why Thud he calls his crown a toss salad? And there you go. There's one for you right there.
Oh no.
The thud of bum on saddle.
Okay, so with that, you should, hopefully this comes up for you. Has the scene changed for you or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Looks
Beautiful.
lovely.
Yes, but tokens disappeared.
Yes, you'll have to move your
And the
tokens.
sound.
Yep, move your tokens back on. I'll adjust the sound.
Eerily quiet might have been what you were going for. So
Maybe. I'll have a look what's going on there.
Alright, time to drag 3 tokens back on.
Yes, do your token changes. Looks like the sound has gone bonkos.
no, I could hear something a moment
You can?
ago, but
Pardon my keyboard. Tapping.
Oh, there is like, I think the sound's just quieter because it's like if I turn it up, I hear like sort of
same.
eerie wind sounds.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I can't hear anything, but maybe I got to put it loud. Let's see. Oh, yep. It's just soft.
Yeah, it's just volume. Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful. It's good to know. Thank you. All right. Yep. We'll keep going here. So, being night, you, as I said, with the moonlight, you can still see. You arrive at the farmstead. You pretty much get to the end of the road, as they say. There's no further way on you can go. So just make sure everyone's got their tokens there. Yep, just put them somewhere along there. So first of all, as you arrive at the farmstead, everyone can make a detect roll. If you're skilled on it, you get 2 dice. Otherwise, it's just 1 dice. And this is just your immediate observation of what the situation is at night. So I'll get you to make those rolls. It's
2
a
successes.
mind check. Yep, 2 successes is brilliant.
Fail.
Okay, that's okay. So if you do
Do I roll
want to
for all
use,
3 as well?
yeah, you can roll for your companion. Well, you can roll for your. Well, you can, but it's this is more for what you see. They're probably not. It's not like a peril or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, all 3 does just sort of floats around. But with that, Birgit, you all notice that the farmstead is very quiet. There is light coming from one large building inside the grounds. Even though that looks like it's a totally fenced area, you can easily get in and out. Okay, so if there is fencing, it's just, you know, partially surrounding. Did you do a reroll, Scrooge?
No, this I changed the text. I rolled for Blue to find out whether he was paying attention or not.
Oh, okay, yep. So your animals have a 1 in 6. Unless you're skilled like all 3, you get 2 dice. But a 1 in 6
so
is
Blue's completely oblivious, but fortunately Hestava is vaguely paying attention.
Yep. So this is all free information in terms of what I'm describing now. But for Birgit, because you got 2 successes, as well as noticing that it's very quiet and there's light and smoke coming from the main building in the farmhouse, you also notice that the fields and the crops seem to be in a very poor state. And what you can tell straight away, that there's one field that looks burnt down. So there's just twigs and burnt stalks. Okay, so that's the first thing. And another field looks like it's been crushed, and there's some animals in there that look like bulls or cows that are sort of pacing around, but like destroying the crop. So, you know, sort of like rummaging through it.
Is this the time of year that the burning would have happened? Because after harvest, you might choose to burn.
Well, you don't see this. Only Birgit does at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm just going to share. You don't have to change. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a map in your notes. Okay, so I'm just going to drag a map into the notes so you can actually see a floor plan of the farm. Okay, so you can look at that.
I am gonna say that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll do turn order soon, so I'm just sort of setting it up that Birgit, you get a good sight to see that of some of the problems in the farm. The rest just see a farm with the smoke and light coming from one of the buildings. But if you have a look at this map I've done of Bjorg's farm, we'll say that you're coming from the northwest. Oh no, not the west. We'll say you're coming from the north on that road. That makes more sense. And you're looking down into the farm area. So you can see the turf house. The turf house is where you're seeing the light and the smoke trail. There's that kale patch, just looks like vegetables, sort of like crops to you guys. And you can make out, Birgit, the red currant grove is where it's all burnt out and there's just stalks. The barley patch, where those got those little patches in it, are where you see the cattle that are like sort of rummaging through it, destroying it, pretty much. All right.
Okay, I'm going to say that Birgit would point that out to everyone else. So I'm not going to I did want to ask that question too, but at Stormcup asked that one. So I'm going to say that Birgit points all of this out, and then maybe our more environmentally inclined character could draw some inferences.
Okay, well,
Well,
given that you've seen it, you
that's
get the first freebie. So this is like a free thing. So you've seen this. what's your first reaction? The rest of it, you've basically, just gone over a bit of a rise. You can see into the farm, and you've seen this, Birgit. Do you want to do anything in particular, or relay, or you get the first move?
No, just to say to you, ST, we're all kind of we're all from a relatively agricultural background because of simply because of who we this is a pseudo medieval setting, right? So I mean my character may well not know the difference between kale and cabbage in particular, but certainly if it's growing in the field, but there's a good chance that we all have basic kind of understanding of what grows, what doesn't, what seasons it is. It's like so that was just a thought, just feeding into you.
I think. Sorry. It's your go, Biggie.
The question that I had was, would Birgit, being a dwarf, so I'm not sure how much time she spends up top, would she be aware of whether this is the time of year where you would do crop rotation and you would just naturally have your animals in like one field kind of eating it down?
Yeah.
Would you've got
two options. You can make a mind check, and that'll give you a general knowledge. Or if you have Pathfinder, you can roll 2 dice. Or you can use a hero point, and you can ask me a question, and I'll give you the true answer.
I think that I don't want to use too many hero points at this point, so I think I'm just going to do a general knowledge check. Okay. And lacking Pathfinder, I think that's just
This is a reaction, so you're not going to get a hero point, but... Yeah, roll 1 dice. Okay, you know pretty much that there shouldn't be any burnt crops at this season, so it's not the season to do burning, and it is not normal to have your cattle rummaging and destroying crops. So both the two things that you have seen are not normal.
All right, so I'll say Birgit tells everybody everything that she has noticed, but also adds in her little bit of color commentary about it, being like, oh, I think it's, quite strange that there's a field burnt and they've got animals sort of eating a crop this time of year. And I'll say that's my turn. Thank you.
Well done. All right, who's next in the turn order? Thud.
Thud looks around, looks at the kettle destroying the barley patch, and he turns around to everyone. I've never seen that happen before. What do you think is the matter with who's got good eyes? It's a bit dark, and human, elf, dwarf. Any of your eyes work in the dark? I've got a lantern over here. I can shine some light, but do they seem sick?
Well, the first thing is, even though Burgess pointed that out, you're still sort of a far distance from the farm. You can get closer. The closest, at the moment, you're quite close. We'll say that you're quite close to the kale patch. We'll say you're adjacent that. So you're in the farm property per se. But if you want to make it to a certain section, you can just move there. But you're still quite far from that barley patch. You can make a detect roll, though, now that it's been pointed out to you, if you want.
Yep,
on your turn.
I will. That's 1 dice only, right?
Correct. Yep. So what are you investigating? Where the cattle is in the barley patch?
So just to see if the cattle are making any sounds which are not normal. Are they normal animals just destroying it, or are they making weird sounds? They sort of...
You can't quite make out what type of animals they are, but you see there's 3 of them. One of them seems to be like bucking and, sort of very agitated and destroying some of the crops. Making sounds. Okay, you do hear like a snort, which could suggest it be anything really.
Yeah, this is very weird, everyone. What are your thoughts?
Well, as you ask for thoughts, what about the next person in the turn?
Okay, yeah, it's not me.
Hestava, any thoughts?
Sorry, I was just messing around with the music volume because the music just suddenly decided to turn itself up.
Oh, I thought that was just
It's
me.
like-
I'm like, oh god, what's going on with this sound? Yeah.
No, it's
Building
obviously the track. But it's like hilarious.
Building
Anyway,
tension.
so yeah. So I think Hestava at least is from like the climate and you know, I've only played it once before, but I think she knows enough to know that like. So she'll hear something like, anyone who lets the cattle do that to their crops deserves whatever is coming.
Oh, judgment.
That is negligence. The burning of the field, though, that is strange. I have heard that other people do that, but normally we just allow the animals, whether it is cattle or sheep, to feed on the remains of the crop. But
Do you want to head
this
closer?
does not bode well for when we approach this woman. She is either mad or she is dead.
Galliveil.
Coming from the forest, I'd be aware that sometimes burning off areas of the forest can help promote regrowth. I guess maybe it's just a little bit of a Australian bush thing, but it's certainly something that
You've got Pathfinder, haven't you?
It's true.
Yes, I do have Pathfinder. I've got Nature Law, Nora,
You
Flora,
can
and
make
Fauna.
Pathfinder roll if you want.
And I was about to say I want to cast Dark Sea, so I can see in grayscale far.
Yeah.
For plus 1d rounds.
Make a roll. I'll give you a bonus dice because there's no threat, so you've got time to conjure it. I'll give you a prepared
Like a
dice.
prepare kind of thing.
Yep.
Alright, it's 2 success.
And what does your spellcasting look like when you cast Darksea?
So I've got my staff there, and at the top, it's sort of, I think it's got like a bit of, I've previously said, it's got like a little, like a green little gem there, reminiscent of the forest, natural colours from where I come from. And so it sort of just glows a little bit, and as that starts to glow, the magic sort of winds up from my hand holding the staff up the staff to the gem. Then my eyes start to glow the same dull green color, almost like night vision kind of green. And then as I look out across the land, I can see further a little bit. Yeah, I guess like night vision.
Yeah, you
like
basically
sort of military,
everything
like the
reveals as if
military
it's
ones,
daylight.
night vision.
Yeah, reveals like it's daylight, just in
And
grayscale.
then- Yep, and then Pathfinder. I'm thinking if it's been pointed out, there's animals we can sort of vaguely hear them. This seems unnatural. Like I'm going to come from the forest, not farms, but I'd be interested to kind of get a sense for. You say it's a turf house. It's like if there's any damage to the house, or whether the smoke or the light from the house indicates there's any activity or issue there, to pair it with
No
the
damage, no
animal
roll
activity out in the
needed.
fields.
No roll needed for the building. There is no damage,
Any
and you
activity?
also notice activity, just the smoke and some light from inside. And you also
Yep.
notice, as everyone else does, there are 2 other structures nearby the turf house. With your Dark Sea activated, you can see those structures. They're a lot smaller. One seems to be perhaps a barn. That's the one to the south. And the other one
With
is,
doors open or something, or
can't quite make that out, but yeah, it's sort of blocked a
Yeah,
bit,
that's fair enough.
sort of obstructed a little bit. And the one closest looks like a little cabin. The one closest to you, because you
Okay.
guys are near the cow patch on the road.
So then Pathfinder, would I get a sense from seeing what type of crops there are, potentially spotting what type of animals are there, like whether it's the kind of thing that, might harbor, like some, like catnip and stuff like that, like just little things can make different animals sort of react differently, or maybe it's a crop that's potentially hallucinogenic that's making the animals go a little bit wild. Like, would I be able to roll Pathfinder to determine from afar? I know it's less likely, but
I'll
if
say
there's
that
anything that maybe
because
looks
you've
similar
used
to
your
Dragon's
action for Darksea and also you've had a look at the turf house, etc., you can't quite at this distance use Pathfinder. You need to find out, even though it says barley patch there, you
If we
can't
could-
tell it's a barley patch. It just looks like a crop, and the cow just looks like some leaves. But you know that if you
So
get
if we
closer, you'll
investigate
be able to.
further, yes.
Yeah. You know if you get closer, you'll be able to. Now, at the end of that round, as everyone's had a turn and none of you have moved closer, we'll just say that you're at the northern tip of that map, right near the kale patch. Two things happen. One, from the south, I mean, it's already night, but we'll say the moon is out, okay, and it's been warm. This dark cloud just wafts in over the hills to the south. And you see this shadow start dropping down from the hill, and almost, in the same turn where you are all like doing what you've done, the shadow covers the farmstead. The strange thing, though, it doesn't extend past the farmstead. It's almost as if something definitely unnatural has blocked not only the moon, engulfing you into darkness, but also you can tell the shadow is just covering essentially that map. So if you assume that map is now covered in darkness, you hear the grunts. You hear the grunts of an animal from where the barley patch was, the one that you all sort of noticed being a bit sort of aggressive, and you also can hear in the kale patch. You start hearing noises, things moving inside. Unseen at this point, but you can hear what was just the wind sort of moving the leaves. Now a bit more activity, suggesting that there's things creeping, crawling and moving amongst the kale patch. And with that, we're going to have our first break. It's going to be a 10-minute break. I don't have a timer, so I'll get you all to monitor your own 10 minutes if you can, and I will switch to the be back soon.
Wonderful.
All right, we are back. Let's just see if this ambience is working. I can't hear it again, but anyway. I've got a funny feeling that there's a mix of tracks and some of them might be very low, but nonetheless, we will recommence. So, a dark shadow. Unnatural. You can tell that the way the cloud has moved just to block the moon has cast the farm into darkness. So I'll say at this point, Galliveil's Darksea is still working. So you still see what I described the previous round. But at the top of this round, Birgit, all of a sudden you're enveloped, and the farm is enveloped in darkness. You can still definitely see the crop you're next to, the kale, but there has been sounds of an undercurrent of something moving within the field.
Suitably scary. I'm going to cast Darksea as well.
Yeah, for sure. Roll on dice.
So
Let's see if that works for starters.
1D. Yep.
Pretty good at casting
Yep, we're good.
spells. Okay, no problem. And what do you want to do? How does your Darksea
Should we roll
present?
for the rounds? Should we roll for the rounds of that as well?
Yeah, I know it's going to be at least 2 rounds. So for now, I'll just say I'll give you the maximum rounds, so no need to roll at this point. So, Birgit, what do you wish to do, if anything?
So I'm going to say that everything switches from being quite dark to going into a grayscale with sort of higher definitions between like the lights and the darks.
Yeah, essentially grayscale, but you can see as day. So.
Awesome. So seeing as day, Birgit's going to sort of look to her companions and say, would we prefer to get a closer look, or would we prefer to go to the house and check in? I would probably like to have a quick look at the fields now that we can see things moving around.
Anyone can talk, that is fine.
Yeah.
I point to the house. Let's get cover straight away.
Yeah, this darkness does not seem natural. And we don't know what we're dealing with.
I call out
I
for all
will-
three as well, just to join me.
Yeah, I will, before Hestava decides what they want to do as well. Just roll 2d6, Birgit, for the temperament of pudding.
Here's hoping. Okay. I think this is probably bad. I got a 1 and a 3.
1 and a 3.
In that order.
Oh no, playful. Well, probably.
Oh,
Full of
playful.
boundless,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, playful, full of boundless energy. So you can make a little note under pudding for that. So the three of the party seem to say, let's head towards the turf house, ignoring the sound, the rustling coming from the kale field. What about you, Hestava?
So, just to recap what we saw when we approached and stood there discussing, there was and this will be my words, not yours, so challenge anything. So, challenge or just accept. You're But there was, from the hills in front of us, behind the farm, there was a rolling darkness that came down those hills and targeted every element of the farm, all of the patches, and the longhouse as well, the turf house.
Yes. Everything on that map is darkness.
Not the point that we were standing in, and to be clear, our heroes are suggesting that we should go rushing off into one of those places.
I was more asking what we
No, not a
wanted
criticism.
to do. Investigation. Yeah.
It's not the criticism. It's just like I'm just checking with you guys what it is. It's like I'm checking with the GM, checking with you. It's like that sounds what's what's happening, right?
That is what I'm suggesting, yes.
Okay.
We're out in the middle of nowhere. Where else are we going to find cover?
I did want to ask, after having talked to people about it, I've kind of taken an action in this turn. Am I also allowed to kind of see if I can draw any inferences about where the cloud came in from?
Inferences as
Like,
in
does it seem
other
like-
than not role based. I mean, it seemed like it was a dark cloud. You're thinking, oh, there's going to a quick change of weather, but the wind didn't suggest it would be moving clouds. So everything suggests that this darkness is something unnatural that's just enveloped the farm. You can move as a free action, so you can start spurring pudding towards the farmhouse if you wish.
Hestava turns to you all and says, "Let us not be mistaken. There is clearly revenge here. Whoever owns this farm has done something to anger someone. I do not suggest that it is righteous. Revenge is not always wrong, but it is not usually good. But clearly, something is targeting this farm, and presumably, this person did something to deserve that."
My thoughts are that Bjorg's put the call for help out, and then it's gone all the way to the guild, and then we've travelled here. And in that time, so the trouble started before all of that, suggesting that potentially this is survivable if it's maybe sort of threatening, which is why I sort of just want to seek shelter and get more face-to-face contact with the farm owner, Bjorg, and figure out what's going on. But I'm lower in the turn order, but when it gets to my turn, I do want to do an arcane or arcana sort of check to sort of try and discern the nature of this darkness.
Yeah, that sounds
All right.
good.
Let's start with Birgit
Thud
then.
would
Birgit,
like to-
you've cast Darkseid. Are you moving? Are you spurring, putting on, or are you staying put next to this kale field that is making sounds?
Birgit's going to hold off on moving for the moment, just because she doesn't want to leave the team behind or do anything silly. She is going to take a closer look at the fields that are near her, and she's also probably going to make a note somewhere if she's got, you know, any sort of like coarse paper that she could write on, just of where the cloud came from, in case that's something that we want to, like, in case it's a cloud that's actually coming from somewhere, if that's a place that we want to go in the morning. So I'm just going to say she's going to examine the nearby, I'll just double check. The nearby, yeah, she's going to have a look at the nearby kale field from where she is. But she is going to move.
You can move. You can move off the road closer to that kale patch if you wish, as your free move.
She is going to, she is going to move slightly closer to the kale patch, but she's not going to leave the road. It looks like it's quite close, and she is going to stay relatively close to the group.
You have to leave the road to get any better look into the kale patch.
Okay, in that case, Birgit's going to say to the crew, look, I want to get a little closer to that kale patch. She's going to get off pudding because she cares about his well-being, and maybe offer his reins to someone who's willing to take them, and then she's just going to take a little bit of a closer look at the kale patch.
Hestava will take the reins.
Thank you. And
Thank
so
you,
with casting Darksea, you can tell that this kale patch, as you get closer to it, you step off the road and the rustling sound increases, but what you notice straight away as you get off the road and a bit closer are two things. It looks as though a lot of this kale patch has been eaten by something. So the stalks are there and some of the leaves, but they're clearly been chewed on, some of them totally bare. And as you get a few feet closer, you smell this terrible stench of like perhaps feces or some sort of wet animal sort of feel. And as you, without having any checks because you've got your Darksea, you sort of peer in at the movement and you notice a few rodents and then a few more, and you realize all of a sudden the whole kale field is moving and it is infested with rodents. The smell is putrid. There's obviously an infestation of these mice or these rodents. They scatter as you get closer. They don't go near you. They sort of move away.
Is it rats or is it mice?
They look like big mice. I don't know. Is there a difference? What's the difference between a
Oh no, yeah, there's a difference. They had a mouse plague where I grew up, and they're just a little bit smaller, not quite as smart.
They look like it's mice, field mice. So there's a lot of them.
Okay.
They're like even scampering over each other because there's so many of them, and that's what's causing all the movement. And that's all you can really do. Is we go to the next person. Oh, you can tell the party.
Birgit's going to walk back and tell everybody that there seems to be a contained mouse plague in the kale field. And then I will end my turn.
The good news for you is you've moved to the kale field closer to get a look, but you can't move back on this turn. You are right next to the kale field, having seen that. But you tell the party that there seems to be a mice or a rat infestation or rodent infestation. Okay, next Thud.
Okay, Thud holds up his lantern and sort of sweeps across from the kale field. So he's using a lantern as a torch. He shuts it.
Okay,
so
yes.
From the kale... Sorry?
I said yes.
Yep. So he's sweeping away from the kale field away towards the red currant grove. And he slowly starts moving forward. He doesn't leave the team behind, but he says to everyone, I think we should start moving forward. If we're sitting here, we're targets.
Yeah,
and he slowly starts...
Yeah, you start moving forward with Freddy. It takes 2 rounds to get to the turf house, so you can move far enough to be in between, sort of at the intersection between the kale patch, the turf house, and the red currant grove. So you could also decide to use your full action to spur Freddy on and get to the turf house, like the same sort of pace you use to get to this location.
I'd like to keep myself sort of in front of the team, between whatever's in front, and I'll put myself in front so the team's behind me, And
Yep.
if anything does pop up, it goes through me first.
No worries. Strike off an
Okay,
oil
but-
for your lantern.
Can I be clear? Freddy's heading towards
Oh.
with controlled speed, but heading towards the house, the
Yes.
turf house. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. And as you point your lantern towards the red currant grove or that burnt field, you can make a detect
Yep.
roll.
Okay. That is 1 dice.
Hestava draws in a breath, almost waiting to warn Thud
I have a
off.
5.
But she knows Thud a little bit, and she keeps her mouth shut.
You succeeded. You don't get a hero point, unfortunately, but with your lantern, you notice that the red currant grove, there is not one bit of life there. It is just burnt husks. With 1 success, you don't pick up any other details. Having said that, if you do get closer, like you're at a far distance now, you might pick up more details, but at this distance, all you can tell is that it seems to be clear, devoid of any life, including animals, just all these burnt husks.
Yeah, I yell out to everyone, there's something clearly not right here. That's my turn.
Yeah. All right, so you move a bit ahead of the party as a sort of scout with Freddy. Speak of the person holding her breath, Hestava, on blue.
All that Hestava's going to do is raise one arched eyebrow at the person messing around in the field and the frog that's leaping forward towards the hut. And she'll stay where she is, holding the other horse, and holding the pony. And just.
Do you want to
And she'll just
perform any
prepare.
skills? Oh, prepare?
Well, no,
Yeah.
I don't think so. She's. I think all she's going to be doing is just watching. She's waiting for something to happen. She can't. But she's not. She can't believe that with one of us relatively unthinkingly heading towards the hut, and one of us kind of dashing off into the field. She can't believe that something's not going to go wrong. So I think she's just going to stand. She's going to be standing ready.
I'll give you a prepared bonus to defend in case something assails you in this turn. Okay, as you are preparing, something does happen. It's not a threat to the party or anything. You notice the door to the turf house open, and a figure peers outside, holding a pitchfork. And it is this figure here. Looks like a farmer or a farmhand, dressed pretty roughly, and looking up in the sky, and then looking towards the north, perhaps at your light, Thud, and then he turns inside, perhaps speaking to someone or alerting someone that to your presence. Perhaps has only seen you. You can speak, Thud, if you wish.
Yeah. I hold up the lantern, hold up my hand, open palm, palm facing forward, and say, "Oh, is this Bjorg's place?"
Are you from the guild?
Yes, we are.
Please come inside. And he looks up into the sky. He doesn't go in. He keeps the door open for you, holding his pitchfork so that showing that you can come inside. You see light come from the inside. There's some light source and beckons you in. You can't get there on this turn, but it seems like he is beckoning you in. All right, let's go. Galliveil. Oh, Hestava, you can move. Sorry, Hester. Did you want to move Hestava closer or still stay where you are, having this person emerge? Scrooge?
So, assuming
Just
that
whether you want to
so
move.
we can. Okay, right now she won't move because there hasn't been anything to suggest that a relatively small person is coming out of the field yet. So.
Okay.
That is
No
very.
worries.
I was about to say. I was sort of like, it's very nice of you to hold because you've got my pony.
Galliveil.
Galliveil sees Birgit cast Dark Sea and recognizes the magic, and sort of her being a newer companion, he's less likely to move off straight away. But as I mentioned before, sort of my inclination is to do an Arcana check on this darkness, and call Orphrey down towards me so that he's safe.
So Arcana,
and sort of like stay where I am. Yeah, stay where I am for a little bit. Because Thud looks very capable for themselves. But as I said earlier, my intention is to get to the hut with everyone when we can.
Okay, well, Arcana check. An Arcana check, and then after that you can still move, so it doesn't stop you from moving.
Or a Pathfinder one if it's like a more natural phenomenon. But
you can choose either. You can only choose one. You can either use Arcana and try to, determine what sort of thing may have caused this, or you can use Pathfinder.
Would it be reasonable? Would it be reasonable with my background that I would understand intrinsic? Or you did kind of describe this as a bit unnatural.
It's unnatural.
I'd be inclined towards
it's unnatural.
Yeah, I'd be Arcana.
Yeah, go for it.
May I ask a quick question before you roll?
Yeah.
Is the information that is provided by Birgit and everybody else, would that count as helping in an attempt to use my teamwork action? With just providing information. Have I helped?
No.
Because I think
okay, so
I'm inspecting. Yeah, I'm inspecting the darkness, whereas everyone else has been looking at the the terrain. I'm sort of like trying to look at the actual darkness itself. Unless my Dark Sea, still active, is going to help me and add an extra dice, just for being able to perceive. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh. You make an Arcana, having seen this darkness roll over, and make a roll.
2 success.
Oh, very good. Okay, look, that confirms that there is definitely something unnatural. Is there any specific things you want to ask? I'm happy to give you 2 bits. Otherwise, I'll just give you info that I think.
Arcana is like arcane lore, knowledge of magical and supernatural. So it's is there any magical plague or some magical terror that sort of exists based on shadows, or this is very localized?
I'm going to tell you this.
Hestava
mentioned that this person probably deserved this, having this darkness, being unnatural, and you do believe that this seems to be some sort of curse. So someone or something has caused this, and there is a reason. So you think Hestava has hit the nail on the head, maybe knows something you don't know, but this sort of thing doesn't just happen unless it's brought upon this farmstead.
So it's not like a sentient darkness or the darkness that follows.
It gives you no. It won't have. The second thing is it'll give you no damage or anything. It's not something that's going to. It just is something that is more foreboding than anything, because it's not perilous to yourself, but it does indicate that something is happening. That it's progressing.
It's something almost beyond magic. It's sort of towards that sort of religious.
It's more powerful. I'll tell you this as well. It's probably more powerful than you would. It's beyond your casting, because the actual size of it and what it's been able to do is something, beyond your capability. So it's something that's very dangerous to deal with.
Okay, so I'd call out. The darkness doesn't seem to the darkness doesn't seem to be harmful by itself, but perhaps Hestava is on the right track. That this is a side effect for something else going on. We should seek the cover, the shelter that we've been offered, and I'll stay until Birgit has got back onto pudding. But be ready to move down towards the turf hut.
Okay, so at the moment then, Thud is ahead of the group, everyone else is together.
And from the perspective of the rest of us, has Thud entered the darkness?
Yes, you will say that you guys are at the fringe and he is actually inside it. He's in the centre of that map, essentially. The crossroads of where he's actually gone there. You can make him out because he's got his lantern. But without the lantern, you wouldn't even be able to see him. Is the
Well,
darkness.
Birgit and Galliveil have got
You
Dark
guys
Sea
can.
active.
Yes, I'll say that yours still going.
Yeah.
Right, at the end of this
Hestava's
turn. Yes, at the end of this turn, as we get back to the top of the round where Birgit, and everyone's pretty much in the same position, except Birgit's closer to the Kale Field and Thud has moved on closer to the Turf House. You hear this moan. It comes from the south. So where on the map where that stream is, let's just say that's the low hills where the cloud, dark cloud rolled in from. You hear this terrible moan. You know, perhaps something in pain. And then you almost synchronously hear like a female sort of shrill cry, like, you know, like a witch's cry if they were doing some sort of ritual or something. So a moan and a cry strikes out from the south. As it does, the person in the doorway goes into the doorway. The door doesn't close, but he's no longer holding it open. Okay, so he does that, and perhaps he just calls out to you, Thud, quickly! He just says that as you hear that sound. The other thing you notice, Birgit, is that when you approach the Kale field, the mice plague, for want of a better term, sort of scurried away. But then you notice, as you sort of glance back for some reason, you notice a few of them are going further outside of the kale stalks, and they're almost looking at you. Like they've sort of stopped and they're looking, sniffing in the air, and let's say there's 2 or 3, but you know that as time goes, because you've seen a lot of them sort of swarming. So a few of them sort of bravely break from that kale field and go to the edge of it, looking upon you. The other thing, as a freebie, Thud, you notice that creature that was sort of bucking in the barley patch starts beelining towards you, and it's moving quickly. So we'll say that you see like a line of the barley store sort of crash and open, you know, suggesting that something is moving towards you. And I'll say that, you know, you happen to hear it and you turn your lantern there and you can't see the creature, but you can see it's ploughing through this barley patch towards you. With all that being said, everyone re-roll turn order because it begins. So everyone do turn order and enter your totals to see who acts first.
6 dice, 6d6.
6d6.
Oh, it's 28. Wow. So that would be 28.55?
It will. You're rolling very well. You obviously like going first.
Clearly.
So change your totals to the new totals. So it looks like Galliveil's moved up the order. Scrooge looks like you've dropped. Now everyone, when I roll for the enemy, everyone will get an option to use a hero point to re-roll their turn order if you're not happy where your position is. Don't forget to also adjust your animal companions as an extra chore for your companions.
Should I add pudding in?
Oh yeah, I'll do that for you. I'll add Pudding's name and then you can...
Oh, thank you.
There you go. You don't re-roll for your companions. They use the same score as you. So they act on your turn. So I'll ignore those rolls.
Sorry.
So for Birgit, cool. Pudding is also 28.55. And red and blue are the same as what the heroes rolled. Alright, have we entered everything in? I can sort it. Nearly. I see some typing. Here we go. Alright, now the last thing we need to roll is for the farm creatures. So I'll get Hestava, roll 6d6, and that's what the farm creatures turn acts. And by farm creatures, I mean any other enemy as well that perhaps is unseen. You see the mice and the creature from the field crushing through. So roll 6 dice, Hester, 23.62. So with that, I will ask 23.62. Galliveil, do you want to use a hero point to re-roll, or you're happy being after the creatures?
I think with my Dark Sea, I'm... No, I'll... Look, I'm already below them, so the worst that happens is I stay below them. So we'll re-roll with the hero point.
Okay, use the hero point and roll 6 dice again and enter the new total.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, nice one.
It was literally just the dice difference, but now it's better. Awesome.
And what about you, Hestava? Did you want to re-roll, or are you happy to stay? You'll be last.
On the basis of this being a sort of combat scenario, I'm going to meta this slightly and say that she will spend. If it had been a social,
Meta away.
it'd been a social. Well, no, if it's a social, if it would have been a social one, I'd have let the other guys go. But
yeah. All right. Use the hero point and re-roll.
yeah, it didn't help. Okay.
Do you want to use another hero point and re-roll, or just keep your position there?
Yeah, fine. Makes. Still sucks.
Do you want to use another hero point?
Well done, draining the resources of the players.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
There we go. That's good. All the heroes act first. I'll get you to do your total. I'll
So
also
that's a 25.63, right? It's not going to matter too much. But...
change blue as well. It's enough. Every decimal point helps. Puts you ahead. I'll also get just for the tension. Galliveil and Birgit, you can roll d6. As long as you don't roll a 1 or a 2, your Dark Sea is still active. Nope, Birgit's
Do I
gone.
do I get to keep it because my mind is a 2, or is that literally just you've got a 2 and 3 chance of keeping it?
Yeah, that was.
Birgit could get it a turn later. So if Birgit's minimum would at least have this one round.
Oh, she did it the round after you. Okay, I'll give you that. So
Yes,
you've got
I did it
4 more
first,
rounds,
while
and
she
Birgit has 1 more round. All right. So I'll actually make a little note there. Well, 4 should be fine, and 1 probably fine as well, maybe. All right, Birgit, you're up. The only threat you see, well, I'll call it a threat, but the mice are congregating a line outside of the field. And I think, Thud, did you let the party know there's that creature's coming or not?
No, I didn't actually. I saw it and then I thought that was the end of my turn, so I didn't.
You can speak.
Yep, I'll scream out to everyone. You guys waiting for an invitation? Let's get into the shed now. Something's coming.
I'm going to say that with Thud being very, very helpful, Birgit's going to yell at, "Thanks, Thud!" She was thinking about maybe trying to grab one of the mice to examine it, but that seems imprudent now, so she runs back, jumps onto Pudding, takes the reins from Hestava with thanks, and then will start booking it with everyone else.
Okay, you're the first to jump on. As you do onto Pudding, you book it. To ride, to travel that distance, you have to go full pelt. You do have your Dark Seeing, so there's no penalty for the night, but it is a might roll. So you can either roll, or no, it is might, yeah. So make a might check, and then you can stay atop. 1 dice. Succeed this, and you get to the farmhouse. You want to use a hero point, or you've fallen?
Here's the thing: is I would have to roll 2 or lower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like,
okay.
and I'll shout out for the role play of the thing. Having you fall on your ass, given that you've barely ridden and you're a dwarf, is completely hilarious. But okay, fine, you did it. Okay.
Sorry, it seems like it was a good idea to just give it a crack. So
Alright,
sorry,
take a
I think
hero point
hold
off.
on. I did.
And
Yep.
you make it
Cool.
to the farmhouse. All right, let's see. That's your action. Let's see. Hestava, what do you got to do?
Hestava will, and you got me. I think the two of us need to decide on the pronunciation of the poor gal's name. But
Hester. I'll just call you Hester.
yeah, that'll work. Okay. Whoever we're talking about, I think will ride forward, but she won't be pushing it.
Okay, all right. There's a penalty for you to ride full pelt in darkness, so if you don't push it, you make it to Thud.
She's trying to avoid that penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, you make it to Thud, but you can still do an action. So you are at Thud in the pretty much in the center of the farm, and you can also see a creature charging through the barley patch.
And can she see the person that Thud was talking to?
No. You see a door open and light out of the doorway. Which you will be able to get there in the next round, but not this round.
Then that's fine. Cool. We're done.
You get to do an action if you wish. You can just prepare a defense at the very minimum.
Well, I could stab Thud for fun, but let's do the prepare defense thing instead.
No worries. Prepare there.
Didn't you say you played together before? You journeyed together before? Are you ready to stab each other?
Yeah, well, once you've travelled with Thud one time, there's there's good
You
reason.
see what he did to the blind man. Come on.
Exactly.
All right. Hester buddies up with Thud. Galliveil.
Yeah.
Can I see any of the larger threats, like in the barley field, from where I am before I move? Because I'm debating whether I
No.
sort of run straight towards the house or whether I sort of go
I'll
regular
say
speed.
with your dark
and
seer,
then-
yeah, when Thud calls out, you see something charging through the barley patch. Yeah.
Because I feel like I wouldn't want to necessarily run ahead, especially if I've just seen Birgit almost fall off.
Birgit's at the turf house. Yep.
Oh, cheers. Okay.
But I think it's fair to say that she almost fell off. I think that's really fair.
Yes. Yeah. Because I was just debating whether I sort of go part way and fire off a magic projectile, magic missile thing.
Yeah, you
But
can look into where
it
Thud
wouldn't
is.
be unreasonable to us to charge ahead and try to get into the house. I mean,
Yes,
totally.
I was just about to say, I think my background in the forest and sort of just what's the phrase, benefit of the doubt on the animals, that perhaps it's not their fault, and so I'm going to head into the safety of the house. So I'm
Yep.
going to push forward.
Roll a
So
D6.
that's
It's a might check.
yep. I want to spend a hero point to roll 2.
Mm-hmm.
Would actually, with Pathfinder, would that help me at all? Or not?
I will give you Pathfinder, animal handling.
Pathfinder is,
Yep.
Pathfinder
I'll give
is
you Pathfinder.
mind,
Oh,
but it's outdoor
no, I won't.
survival, so it's like,
No,
no.
it'll be just your...
Um,
Actually, I'll give you acrobatics as a
but there is-
bonus. There you
I
go.
do have. I was just about to suggest. Okay, so acrobatics give me an extra D.
So you got 2 dice without the hero point.
I've got. I'll do 3 with the hero point because it's better
Okay.
to use them, and you can also get them back if you hit your proficiency. So
Go for it.
may as
Yeah.
well. And I hit my proficiency twice, so
You only get maximum 1 back, but you don't waste it. Well done. You also make it to the farmstead, the turf house. The other thing you notice as you're passing the building on the north, it has a holy symbol on the roof. So on the map, as you bolt past it with your dark seeing, that little cabin is some sort of perhaps.
Cool. So with my
Temple or-
dark thing, I will make a mental note of that and to be able to scribble it out for the benefit of Hestava once we're in shelter, because I assume Hestava would be aware of religious symbols and maybe wouldn't be able to see it in the night.
Yep. Thud, lucky last before the perils. You can make it to the house, but that will leave Hester on her own.
So is there any way I could get Hestava to come with me if I do make it to the house?
She's on a horse, dude. It's maybe even if you manage to pull her off the horse, you're leaving the horse, and I think you know that she wouldn't appreciate that.
Yeah. So if Hester was happy for you to use a helping action to take her onto your horse, but she shakes her head. Sounds like.
Can I see what's coming towards me? How far away it is?
You shine the torch there as a freebie. You can calculate that it is charging, and on its turn, it will emerge and be able to reach you and Hester. If it continues to attack, unless it stops. If it stops, that's different.
Right. So, and from the sound of what Thud can hear, it looks like it's aggressive, right? It's coming to do no good, basically.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's like a raging bull.
The only thing
sound.
Sorry.
It's like a raging bull sound.
Right. So the only thing Thud can do is Thud says to Hestava, "Is it Hestava's turn next after me?"
No, it is the farm creatures.
Right. So the only thing I can say to Hestava is, can I make an action and then hold my turn? So if I do an action, my movement I hold, can I do that? So just in case the farm creature.
You can do a defend like Hestava's doing. Prep.
What I want to do is I want to throw my lantern towards in the direction of the charging animal so that it sort of oil spills and there's a bit of fire. However, I will still stay by Hestava's side until Hestava moves and I move with her.
Well, Hestava won't move until after the creatures. So you could definitely throw your lantern. That is a might action, a throw, one-handed throw, and just not move and stay next to Hester for sure.
Yes, I will do that. Yep. So at least I'm hoping the fire will stop whatever's coming in its track.
Lanterns will shatter unless you roll a 1 on a d6. But first, let's do a one-handed throw. Are you skilled in one-handed throw?
Let's have a look. I have athletics. Does that help?
No, I'll give you a two-handed throw. That's fine. You grab both your hands and you do like a barrel throw of the lantern. So roll 2 dice, and you need 1 success to make it land in the line of the attack. Yep, that's 2 successes, and then roll a d6. Anything except a 1.
Ooh, 2.
All right, the lantern explodes, like shatters, and the oil spills and, flame sort of licks the path, and you stand side by side with Hester, on your mounts, obviously. And now we go to the creatures. All right, so first we will do... okay, because you're both out in the open, you can hear the mice or the field mice or the rodents, whatever they are, like a swarm of chattering as you see a beeline of these rodents, which I'll show you the picture of them. But they don't make it to you. But there is a swarm and they're heading towards you. It doesn't look like they're moving quick enough to get to you. So there's a swarm coming from the kale patch. Like thousands of the things. They're all falling over each other trying to get to you. They look like one enormous mass of these writhing rodents. But the more dangerous obstacle or threat is bursting out of the barley patch is this large bull. Now, I'll get Thud to roll. There's only a 1 in 6 chance that this lantern light will stop its charge. So you can choose a number between 1 and 6. So there you go.
Okay, I choose 4, and let's see. 1. I'm not sure what happened. What that means.
Should have rolled. I normally would say 1. Okay, this bull, massively aggressive, snorting, charges out of the barley patch. In an instant, it's upon you. Hester, roll a d6. If you roll even, it comes to lance you with its horns. No, it goes to the lantern hurling Thud, which is probably good. Actually, no, it isn't very good because you have to. It actually attacks Freddy. Now, if you can try with Freddy, you can only really dodge. So you try to pull the reins to dodge, move Freddy out of the way of the attack. So there's a 1 in 6 chance it can avoid the horns. You can choose a number if you want.
Can Freddy jump above it?
He doesn't get an action.
Yeah,
He's being ridden.
Okay. Okay, so
And don't forget, Freddy is freaking huge. This is a creature that the dwarfs Thud, so I'm not sure how he's dodging exactly. But
Is that even possible?
That's why he's got a 1 in 6. So what number would you like, Thud?
I'll go in the middle 3 and roll. I got a 4.
Freddy lets out already he was sad because the sun set and this cloud rolled in, and his night just got worse as these 2 horns thud crack through his armor, which I think he has got armor, hasn't he? Gave him
okay.
Oh no, he doesn't. No, he didn't get armor for him. Cracks into his hide for 2 points of damage. Freddy lets out a mighty wince. Yeah, 2 stamina gone.
would you have allowed Thud to spend his hero points on Freddy?
No, you can only. Good question though. Hero points can only be used on yourself or your companion, which actually will decide now. Red, which is Galliveil, who is going to? I'm going to assume that Red uses his hero points, or do you want? It's your horse, so you could decide, but only one of you can. So do you want it to be you that makes the call for Red if he's in peril? Hester?
Hester's riding blue, isn't she?
Yeah, but in case Red has to make a roll, do you want to be the one that uses the hero points, or do you want to leave with Galliveil?
No, I think it would make more sense in my brain to allow Galliveil to take care of Red because then Hestava can burn his ass if he fails to take care of Red.
All right, no worries. We go to the top of the round. Birgit, you hear Freddy wince and the sound of a snorting bull, full of rage, eyes bloodshot. It's large. It's probably. In game terms, is the same size as Freddy, and it smashes into him. But it's your turn, Birgit. Oh, so I should say you're at the farmhouse. Now you're on a pony, and inside you see a frightened family. Okay, they're all cowering, but I'll reveal all their tokens just so you can see this family in there. But it doesn't look like there's much room for farm animals. I mean, if the pony goes in there, probably going to stop. It'd probably be the maximum of what can go in there. So you're at the front door because you got there first, and you see these 5 people. Okay, so I've revealed them all. So a family of 5 people, and one of them, the elderly lady, she is probably cowering the least, as well as this gentleman at the top. I don't know if I can ping him. Ping that. What do I ping?
The one with
That
the
guy
orange?
there.
Yes.
Yeah, the one with the orange. So he's the one with the pitchfork. He's standing by her side. The children are carrying with this gentleman. I don't know why my ping's not working, but anyway, the gentleman with the beard above her, the kids are carrying with him. And she says, quickly, inside.
Birgit says, "Don't worry. We're here from the guild. We're here to help. Take my pony." And she hops off her pony, sort of indicates her reins in the direction of the nearest adult person, and then turns towards where the bull was and just yells, "Freddy, no!" And then she okay, so I've got to ask, in the rules of this game, is there any chance if I fired a missile at that bull that it could hit Freddy?
Good question. So first of all, as you release the pony, the girl comes bravely from the man's side, grabs the pony's reins and brings it into a side room. It seems like they're all, sort of cooperating. None of them are being difficult or anything. The old woman, says, "Oh, good girl, Katia, good girl," sort of as she takes the pony. In game rules, if you fire at a target that's in melee with another target and they're the same size or larger, you get a 1 dice penalty. So for you to hit a missile at the ox will cost you 1 dice, and you only get 1 dice to fire a missile, which means you'll have to use a hero point to be able to hit truly.
You know what? I reckon that Birgit really likes Freddy. So yeah, I'm gonna take those odds. I'm gonna fire a missile at the bull.
No worries. Roll 1 dice. You need 2 or over. Take off a hero point.
Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Wait, I roll 1 dice because I miss a dice. It doesn't mean I need to roll 2 dice successfully to hit.
No. Although I will say that some targets will require 2 successes. This one only requires 1.
Okay.
So you've only got 1 dice, yeah.
Quick question. Is the bull bigger than the humans?
Yes.
Cool.
That is a hit. And tell me what your magic looks like.
It looks... It's like a white, bright light, like cooler than sunlight. And it just shoots across the farmland and
whack.
Hits the bull with...
You do 1 point of damage. You can use a hero point to do 2 points if you wish.
A little bit imprudent. I'm down to 2 hero points. Should I save them in your opinion, or would it be good to save?
Save Freddy!
My vote is save. Save the points.
Okay.
Because it could easily become a situation where your character is being killed, being badly hurt, and then the hero points will be particularly valuable.
All right. In that case, I'm going to be selfish and hold back in this instance, having taken one shot at the bull.
No worries. You can move inside as a free action if you wish.
I'm going to, since nobody's holding the door, I'm going to have Birgit hold the door now, just to kind of make sure that everybody else can get in safely, and just in case our new friends change their minds, basically.
I'll say that you're inside just holding the door, but you're out of the darkness. You're inside, there's lanterns lit in there, so you're not necessarily a target unless something attacks the farmhouse. And the woman inside says, "Thank you, brave warrior. I am Bjorg, the owner of the Farmstead. Much has ailed my town, my farmland and my family. What has caused this curse on us? What is happening? Why us?"
I will admit, I'm not entirely sure, but we have a cleric with us, and I think she'll know the answer to it. She thinks for a minute. She was like, "Sigmund has sent us." you know,
Yes,
we're
we've been
we're
waiting
going
for
to.
you. Thank you for coming so quickly. We were fearful that you were not going to come into the morning. But I prayed to the gods that you
Birgit.
came.
Birgit blushes a little bit because she was the one who suggested that maybe we wouldn't, and she's like, "Yep, I'm very glad that we came this soon at this time. It's going very well."
All right, I'm just going to
Galliveil
put
chuckles a little bit in the doorway.
putting pudding with the girl who took pudding into another room, but you're inside as well. We'll just put you in there on that side.
Yeah, we're not risking pudding.
Actually, I might as well change the scene. Change the scenery. What do we got here? No, I don't have it. Forget that. I'll leave it at that. All right. Next in the order, who's up? Hestava.
So Hestava is going to. She's what she sees is a descending darkness, and she intends to fight that directly. And so she is going to cast light.
Ooh. Okay, the light. I think it does a near area, so that will put you,
That's correct. Yeah.
Thud, and the ox into the light.
And
Happy with that?
yep, and yeah,
hang
near's
on,
correct.
no.
And when-
Sorry, you have to. Yeah, it will cast a near distance light. Sorry, but you have to touch something. So what are you imbuing your light into?
Okay, this wasn't what I had thought of in the moment, because in the moment I was going to say herself.
Yeah, you can do that.
But actually, tactically, maybe it makes more sense that she reaches out and touches the enormous thing that is Freddy.
Oh, okay. Put the light into Freddy.
That's cool.
He'll like that.
And
Is
so
it a
she-
warm light? He likes the warmth.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think it would be. I think it would. I would think it would be consistent with Freddy's personality. She's travelled with Freddy a little bit, so so whatever it is that that we think, whatever it is that we think that is Freddy's light, that is what emanates.
All right, make your roll to cast light of the gods.
Now, remind me.
Oh,
Holy
it's,
holy spells are just a 1d on mind, right?
Yep, that's it. You got it.
And that's
Whoa,
exactly the
and
number.
You got a hero point too. It's exactly what you wanted. All right, so a light gets cast on Freddy.
Well, no, Freddy becomes the light.
Yeah, okay,
Freddy
becomes a light.
It's like probably I imagine, at least if no one else has got any other suggestions, that it's a slightly warm red, because the greedy little bastard likes eating chickens, so there must be like some sort of carnivore kind of element to it.
All right, that is successful.
But she gets an action and a movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she will then take Blue. She'll like drive him towards the hut. Drop off it as she tries to ferry him into the hut.
Yeah, you notice
And
that.
when Yep.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
And as soon as she sees anyone that she can lay her eyes on, whoever it is that is the most important person, and it's probably the oldest in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and she will almost shout, but certainly demanding, "What did you do? Do not lie to me. Do not lie. What did you do?"
As you get into the turf house, it is quite large. Straight away, this gentleman with the pitchfork, he is standing next to the woman. He puts the pitchfork in one hand and he grabs the reins of your steed, Blue, and he says, and it gives it sort of like clicking sounds as if he does have some skills in perhaps handling animals. And Blue, being quite affectionate, takes to that clicking sound. He even gets out a carrot to help her get on, and as you're on top of this horse, like you look like an ominous present, as Hester comes like bursting in essentially, do you remain mounted when you ask these inquisitor questions, or do you dismount and be next to Birgit?
Well, given this is a horse, not a pony, given that horses are, at this point in time, probably smaller than our common horses, I'm still, but our doors are shorter than our common doors. I imagine that she probably can't get through the door. I mean, if she can get through the door by bowing down and letting Blue go through, then she will stay on the horse at least that long. But she's going to immediately get off. It's like as soon as she's through the door, she's getting off.
As you dismount, and the farmhand he says, "I am Ulfa. I will take care of your steed." I'll put his name there.
But she's looking for the oldest one, so that's not Ulfa, right?
No, Ulfa takes your horse, but this woman steps forward, and she says, "I am the owner of the farmstead. My name is Bjorg Finnsdotter. I do not know what is happening." And she nearly starts, she's trying to hold in her tears, she's shaking, she's trying to about to explain. She doesn't seem to cower back from your inquisition, and this other gentleman comes to her aid as she's shaking, full of emotion. The little boy starts crying, and this gentleman says, "Please, my wife has gone through a lot. I am Heimer, Bjorg's husband. We do not know what is happening. Please help us. The gods have turned their back on us." And they seem totally distraught. You can make a parlay roll because you've demanded information to see how well you go with deciphering this response.
Now, in my mind and in the picture I'm seeing, Helmer is a lot younger than Bjorg.
Yes, that's not a fake picture. He is.
Okay.
Do you have a problem with that?
So yeah, she is simply right now. Hestava's position is that she is demanding the truth. That's primarily what she's demanding.
Make a parlay roll. Oh, you get a bonus.
So her parlay would be 2D. Okay, cool.
Yep. 2 successes is guaranteed success. Oh, that's terrible. That's 2 fails.
I think we're going to be spending a hero point on that.
All right. You want at least 1 success, otherwise you'd... 1 success. Do you want to take that or try to get 2 with another roll?
Let's go, because I think the importance of the moment... But I have to take the last result, not the best result, right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, so I think we're gonna just stick. Don't think we're gonna
stick with 1.
Do you regain the hero point there?
Well, once he decides whether he wants that, if 1 success is enough, I will get the hero point back. If it isn't enough to determine whether they're telling the truth.
No, I'm taking it simply because of the stick or twist dilemma. So she's gonna stick, which happens to mean that she gets the hero point back, but it's primarily because of the it's like I'll take 1 success over no.
You only get the hero point back if your action's successful. You may, because some actions require 2 successes, so I will let you know right now whether you are successful, and you are. So it only needed 1 success for her, which tells you that she's telling the truth. She actually doesn't know what's going on. She just knows that this is not natural. It's a curse. She tries to speak, but her emotion is she's trying to be the strong one for the family. She can't even speak. She starts crying when Heimer gets to her aid, and he's just sort of protective and says, "Please," and he looks at the children, because he's sort of scaring his little one. He even says, and she says as well, they say almost in unison, suggesting that they're on the same frequency. You're scaring our little Hully.
And Hestava doesn't change her position whatsoever. She's still basically calling them liars and still demanding to know what's going on.
Fair enough.
Can Birgit tug on Hestava's sorry, I know it's not my turn, but could she tug on your sleeve and just sort of I don't know, try to communicate through the medium of thick eyebrows that
No, I'm cool with that. So I think you did that. But Hestava's not listening.
But it didn't work. Yeah, cool.
It did not work. Galliveil, you guys are all inside though. Galliveil, you're at the door.
Yep, just
This
a
all
side note,
unfolds.
Hestava's really giving Crusader vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'd previously raced to just outside the door, still on red, and you said that I saw a sort of looked like a religious symbol on the. Do you say on the roof of the shed, like
Roof of the northern.
the roof?
Yes, looks like probably a
Okay.
shrine building or some sort of holy place.
Yeah. So hearing Hestava's Inquisition there, Galliveil goes, that religious symbol on your building roof, is that your doing? Perhaps Hestava, that's something that you can follow up on. And I think I'm torn between like trying to recreate that symbol with my finger in the air, or just like coming and just quickly scribbling on the ground, or just turning and shooting at the bull. I think I will take a shot.
Before you decide,
Yep.
when you mentioned
Well, if I
about
get some
the
reaction.
holy place or whatever your words were,
Yep, the holy symbol. Yep.
Bjorg says, "That is our temple of Freya and Sif. We have been offering.
So I feel like
We've been making offerings, but our words have fallen on deaf ears. I do not know why this is happening to us."
all right. So my mindset would go towards that's something known that they can depict to Hestava if Hestava needs that info to further make inquiries. So I will turn my attention back to the battle. I think a cool move would be to try and levitate to stand up on the roof and then use the remaining rounds of Dark Sea just to fire shots off in the darkness, just to as a little bit of like a bulwark against the incoming forces. But I will not. I will fire. Does my Dark Sea help with firing at the moment? I know that there's a penalty for a melee range, so there's a -1d there already.
So if you didn't have the currently that area is lit by this bright red glow from Freddy, but nonetheless the penalty is because you're trying to do a called shot to miss Freddy and hit the ox.
Yes.
So you're in the same position where you'll have to use a hero. Hello?
Yeah, just a quick one. I forgot to roll how long the light lasted. It's a 1d, and I've just rolled it, and it's 1.
Yep. So that
you
means,
rolled the
thank you for
castle
that.
light and then you ran inside. Yeah.
Yeah, it lasts for the action cast plus 1 extra, so it'll last for the remainder of the second round. So I'll make a note of that. Thanks for that.
Freddy's got time. Freddy's got time.
Sorry, Freddy. Could have rolled better, but I didn't.
I'm kind of worried that Freddy's lit up to be a target in the darkness now, so anything that doesn't quite see well in the dark, or is going, which one do I choose? There's something that's lit up.
Well, it's a daylight thing, so her assumption, Hestava's assumption, was that it would counteract the darkness that was being brought, but
the physical and the metaphorical darkness, potentially.
Correct.
Firing?
I feel like it's hard to...
Allfrey flies inside, perches on one of the beams on the roof. Ulfa takes the reins of Red, gives him a carrot, gives her a carrot, and she is reunited
I'm still
with
on.
Blue.
I think I'd still be on Red in case.
Oh, you're on? In that case, he doesn't.
Move. And that helps, like with perception a little bit, potentially, just in my mind's eye, being on top of a horse. Sure, we'll use a hero point. I've got lots of them. We'll use a hero point to fire. So it's just 1d. Fire missile. There we go.
Yep,
So it
what
hits.
does your missile look like?
As in previous adventures, I sort of have that staff that's sort of the gem's still glowing softly with similar to my eyes, so the dark vision kind of soft green glow. But I swirl my staff round and grab it with my second hand, riding on top of Red, and point it where I'm aiming the missile. And then there's just like a almost like the Death Star kind of light. My staff lights up from the bottom to the top, up to through the gem, and then a burst of magic light, which is green, but it gives off like a foresty, sort of like a vine reaching through the air kind of feel, and then it strikes the ball.
Bang. Do you want to do an
I'm
extra
going
point
to
of damage with another hero
spend
point?
0 points. Yes, I am.
Wow.
So after that, I've got 3.
Bang. All right. With that, did you want to move into the house now? You get a free action as a move.
I'm going to. Sure. Yeah. Is there like any windows in the house? I prefer to move to one of the windows so I can still look out and potentially fire from one of them.
You can move and still look at the bull. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's what I want to
do. They've sort of shut
I want
the
to
blinds
provide.
closed.
Yeah, I want to provide
you can open
like
it.
defensive cover kind of thing if I can at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So Ulfa takes the. You're happy to get off the horse, though?
Yes. Yeah,
Ulfa takes the reins. You are also inside, but you're looking. You pull the curtains and open one of the shutters or something so you can see the bull. Thud.
Yes, Thud is very angry now. So, with a mighty roar, he takes off his two-handed axe and basically swings at the bull.
Yep. As you're about to, sorry, go.
No, please go on.
Oh, you full of rage, seeing the blood, seeping out of your mate Freddy's skin. You see the bull is in bad array as well, with 3 points of damage. It's like, its legs are sort of shaking. It's got 3 wounds to it. But you notice as the red light bathes the ox, you definitely notice its temperament change from raging death to it sort of stumbles back a bit and looks placid.
So it's no longer attacking,
it's
no longer
bathed in the. Well, look, it gets its turn after you and Freddy, right? But looking at it right now, it seems bathed in the light of Hester's god. It doesn't look like it's aggressive anymore. As you raise the big double-handed axe.
Instead of making an attack, I'd like to look into, because Thud has sort of slaughtered a lot of animals, I'd like to look into the bull's eyes to see what I can see. Is it just a normal animal which is...
It looks, you see its tongue lick. You see it's the whites of it. I mean, it's bathed in a red glow, so it looks quite evil. But you can see it definitely has changed from aggressive, kill, charge. I mean, it bursts and ran through your flame to a normal, a few bugs sort of fly in it. It sort of flicks it away. Its tail, its demeanor looks totally passive. Now, that is, I mean, you're not using any skills to determine that because you don't have any really, but you definitely know it doesn't look like it's in attack mode.
Okay, it's just a normal farm animal, right? It's not sprouting extra horns.
No.
Okay, if that's the case, Thud will not attack it, but Thud will use his action and movement to help Freddy get to the farmstead.
Yeah, easy.
Yes.
You do that,
and
even with the light, even as you move out with Freddy with this bullocks out of the light, it starts just moving around like it's confused, but it's no longer aggressive. Something about Hestava's holy light has stopped something. You have moved to the farmhouse.
But Freddy will not be able to go inside, right? It's too big.
Well, it is for the purposes of what we've already organised. It's as big as a horse, and the horses have gotten in, and it looks like they're moving moving your horses and ponies into different rooms of the turf house. So they're not keeping it in the room everyone's congregating in. So by that rationale, Freddy can squeeze in.
Right.
That's very generous. I thought Freddy was a big fucker.
Frogs, they can breathe in and they're... They can, as long as
I
their
Oh,
like
body
no,
it.
fits.
that's a good argument. I like that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, as long as their head fits, their body fits. Apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, like cats.
Now that's your
I
free move,
squeeze
but
in
I will
after-
tell you. I will tell you one extra thing as a freebie. As you are squeezing in with Freddy, and you see the horde of field mice 2 rounds away. So they're sort of rolling over each other like a rolling wave. Out of the holy building, which I can't remember if you noticed, but out of that building to the north,
Yep.
the door opens and a child runs out of it towards the farmhouse. And it's this person here. So he's running. He's not going to be caught by the rodents, but he comes out of the farmhouse and he says, "The Droga is coming, the Droga!" And he bolts also towards the house, and you hear the old woman Bjorg in there says, "Letha, where's Letha?" So you're in the doorway at the moment, squeezing in with Freddy. So you still haven't done an action, so you still get an action if whether you want to fire something at the mice or do something else. But this child is also coming in.
Right. So for my action, what I'd like to do is the only opening to the house at the moment is the doorway, right?
Yes.
Is the door?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I will spread as an action. I will spread some, or I'll spend about 2 lantern oils and spread it around, sort of like as far as I can splash to sort of light fire, so the mice can't come into the house, or at least they're put at bay.
Ooh. How many? You know that using a full thing of oil, if you had 6 units of oil, you'd light up enough of a flame to keep this mass that is approaching out of that doorway. Do you have
Yep, I
6
used
units
all
of oil?
I have 5. I used 1 in the lantern, so I'll use all 5 units of oil.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
but
Wait,
your
could I
action.
give you the additional one? Can I since I'm
You can
right
hand-
next to him, can
you
I give him
hand
one?
over oil as a free action? You can just subtract 1 unit from your oil if you do have that as part of your equipment. That's easy.
I have 6 torches. Does that count as units of oil?
Yeah, you can a torch or a unit of oil. So you could throw a torch
Right.
onto the oil and that would light it. That actually probably makes more sense actually. you
Yep,
put oil down and then
Thud,
Yeah.
I've given you the book one.
yeah, you subtract
and I-
one
and I
torch
yell
and
to the
Thud
kid.
subtract all the oil.
Yell to the kid, "Run, quick, we're about to light fire."
Yep, he dashes in as the fire is lit in front, like causing a bonfire in front of the door, and you hear the squealing of the mice as they sort of, some of them hit into the flame and burn like they're just crazy, but then the horde of rodents start squealing as they realize that, oh, hang on, that fire is actually hurting them, and it seems to make them change their direction, and you sort of hear them scampering, getting further off. As you are now all into the turf house with all of the creatures and the flame burning in the front, the ox retreating into the back to its field, and the rodents also backing off, you hear that groan. I don't know if you remember that groan I was telling you about. And you heard the boy mention about the droga. Probably spelled it wrong, but anyway, I'll put it there. And what I need you to do, and I'll get Thud to do it, roll 6d6 and see where the droga enters as we enter the start of the next round.
That one's 66. Give me a sec.
I have another question. Did we identify who Letha was while that was happening? I don't think Letha's the boy.
Yeah, Letha is the boy. He's just run in. I'll undo his name so you can see. I thought I did undo his name.
And
Did I? No,
also,
I didn't.
since the mice, a few of the mice, well, I'd imagine quite a bit of the mice got roasted. Does the air now smell like similar to KFC?
It does.
Oh,
KFM.
KFM.
KFM or KFM? KFM, yeah. Sorry to all your animal lovers out there. I should have given you a trigger warning there. I didn't realize Thud was so brutal, but anyway. Chickens is one
I
thing,
would
but
Okay,
say,
then.
you know, like
Shouldn't it be TFM? Tub fried.
oh Jesus! See what you've started.
Maybe Owen. Oh no, well not that.
All right,
Oil fried.
you are all together. Even the daughter Katla, she returns. I love your pony, she says. Quite calmly for some reason, even though everyone's under peril. But everyone looks towards Lifa and they hug him like Bjorg and Heimer says, "Where did you go? We told you to stay in the turf house." There's a lot of, this clearly seems to be a family of 5. This gentleman seems to be a help. Okay, but he's very physically strong. Okay, he looks like he could handle himself and he seems pretty good with the horses.
Does Leafa have different facial features or different characteristics, physical characteristics to the rest of the family?
At a glance, and this is all information for you, they're all acting like they're part of the family, but he does seem as though he doesn't resemble either of the parents, whereas the other kids, you would say, oh yeah, I can see sort of the resemblance. That being said, I'll give you a little blurb here before we go to the actions. Outside, you hear the scream. Again, it's the moan, followed by this female, like a cackle. A combination. It's a very, very disturbing sound. And Leaf is saying, the Draugr is here, referring to this, whatever is making this sound.
Does it sound like 2 different voices or the same thing making 2
different
types
voices? But not okay. 2 different voices, but because you haven't seen anything, it may not necessarily be 2 different creatures. There's one for you. Okay, so let us explain here. Where is he? Lifa. Okay, he says, "I'm sorry, Ma and Pa, but I was praying for protection from the gods to free us from this darkness." And they said, "Do not worry, my child, you're safe now. The heroes are here. They will deal with the creature." And Lifa looks towards you and he says, "The creature is a great warrior from the dead." And he says, I honestly tell you, I do not know why it is here, but please kill it and save my family." And they all look towards you, and outside, because the window's open, so you all sort of, gawk out the window or just see through the flames, you see this abomination, which I will reveal now.
I'm going to say that Bridget's going to offer. Bridget's going to say we're here to help.
Are we still in initiative mode?
Yes, I will go into initiative. I'm just doing a bit of a setup before we get into it. But you can speak. I mean, I'll just explain. As you all sort of hear Lifa say that this creature's coming, and he's saying he doesn't know why. He promises he doesn't know why. The others saying, don't worry about that now. The heroes are here. They'll save us from him. And Lifa mentions there's some undead warrior. So he seems to have some knowledge of it. You all look out and you see standing on its own in the open outside of the turf building a figure of death. You see that's over.
Yeah, Galliveil's immediately just running to the nearest window to this new threat. Once you realise the bull is not, or the ox is not dangerous, and just yelling out, "Hestava, my knowledge is not going to be useful here. I think this is your domain." And that's all from my in between.
Yeah, so you all see this towering figure over 2 meters tall. What remains of its flesh is darkened, swollen, and rotten. You can see bones jutting out from beneath it, and where eyes should be, 2 pinpoints of brilliant, heatless orange light. This hideous creature appears to be some fearsome sort of undead, returning to a hateful life. It moans as it stretches its arms, and then this female voice that you heard screeching emanates from its mouth. Its mouth is not moving these words, but the sound is coming through. And I'm going to paste this into the session notes for you, but I'll read it out first. You hear a menacing sort of female voice emanate from this creature as it tilts its head back, looking up to the darkness ahead, and this female voice shrieks out, "Under the hills of Fjelljot's crest, where Bjorg tends her fields in quiet toil, a thief crept to Erika's cairn, stealing the blade sworn to the dead. Erika rises now, his gaze like embers, to curse the hearth that shields the crime." And because you probably didn't understand most of that with my really bad accent, I will paste it into the session notes. Oh God, the session notes got like a goddamn novel.
I take a lot of notes because my memory is not.
That's great. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, what I just reached out, I've pasted there, and the figure's eyes glow brighter as you see. It seems to, I mean, its turn order is at the bottom because Thud rolled brilliantly and made it last, but it seems to be ready to charge. And we'll say that the fire that's burning is sort of casting the light that allows you to pick out all these details that I've just described. So let's go for the big heroic round. Now remember, speaking is a free action, but if you want to use a skill, it requires your action. But you all get to act before the Draugr. So let's go with who's first?
Is it me? I think it's.
I don't know. Is it? Yes, it is. Birgit.
It's always you.
Yeah,
it's always me.
The chosen one.
Because I normally roll really badly, and today has gone quite well. I'm gonna say that Birgit's gonna do like a little bit of a turnaround, and she's, out of politeness, gonna make eye contact with everybody who's there, and she's just going to say, "Look, I'm not blaming anyone, but it sounds like there's stolen blade involved here, and if we returned it, that maybe that would solve a lot of our problems. So maybe everybody's going to close their eyes for a minute. And, well, not a minute because we don't have that long. We're going to close our eyes for 5 seconds. And whoever has the blade could maybe just put it down on the ground, and there'll be no blame, no judgment. But maybe we can sort this out because it's go time." So she closes her eyes for 5 seconds and then just goes, "Where's the blade?"
Okay, you make that plea. Do you want to make a parlay roll, or do you want to wait to see if any others can help your case and delay your roll?
I would perhaps like to delay my roll because I have look, I think I'm playing good cop right now. And I have a suspicion that Hestava is going to be the bad cop to my good cop. No. It's we both care. We just express our care differently.
I'm waiting for "give me the truth" from Hestava.
Pretty much. But also I'm thinking if you're closing your eyes for 5 seconds, that's pretty much an entire round, right? So.
Sorry.
It's figuratively. No one closing their eyes. Let's just say that at this point. They're all like huddled, terrified, except for Ulfa. He's got his pitchfork and he's just sort of near the family, but not being part of them, but just ready to fight if need be. And, Leifa is the one who's doing a lot of babbling. Hestava. So I'm going to say Birgit's holding at the moment, just providing will either be a help or a parlay, depending on what Hestava wants to do.
Yeah, if I can help. I will probably be helping Hestava. I'm not telling you how to live your life, Hestava, but I'll just hold it for a second, just in case. Do whatever you wish.
Okay, so quick background. Hestava would not normally be this blunt, but we have kind of arrived. We've been surprised. Everything has kind of been on like 3 pints of coffee kind of stuff. So I'm going to go nuts, and I'm going to play into the bad cop idea. But Hestava will grab the little shit that's just come in, and she will draw the blade that she got last time, the bronze lunar empire sword.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, and
All
she will,
respect, man. Jesus Christ.
and she will put it, and
It's
she
like
will
Judge
put it to
Dredd.
the boy's neck. And she
Yes,
will,
you-
and she will basically scream, someone is lying to me. Someone knows what was done. That this creature, this evil, is upset about.
Okay, so
I can't.
let us.
I don't know where. I don't
there's
know
more?
what you did wrong, but you did something.
Okay, you're sticking with that. That was your original theory. You're sticking to it. So before we resolve this, let's see if the good cop, what you've done helps. So make a help roll. Roll 2 dice. You need 1 success. So very easy for you, as you plead to their common sense or the eyes closed technique.
Well, I got 1 out of that.
Yep, that's all you needed. 1 success. So he gets a bonus dice. So Hestava, you've got parlay, which is 2 dice, and you've got this bonus dice. As you grab Leifa, what are you rolling for? What's that?
Sorry, that actually, I'm going to take it just as a whatever the hell you call me to do, but it was actually just a misclick.
Okay.
But I'm not. But that's going to be the first. That's going to be for the first number, whatever the hell it is. Okay.
Yeah. That's what we pay for the rules. If you roll, we take that result. So what I'm going to do is I'll get you to roll an extra 2 dice, because you've got 2 dice for parlay and 1 dice for the help. Roll an extra 2 dice, and because you need 2 successes, so you need 1 of those extra 2 dice to be 3 or higher. Oh! All right, you get a hero point. That's 2 successes. And what happens is, as you grab Leifa, Bjorg nearly faints. Okay, words don't even reach out of her mouth because she feels like, oh my god, this is it for her son. Heimer just grabs Bjorg and says, oh, what is this madness? But he doesn't act. Harley still crying. Cartler says, Mom, what's happening? These are supposed to be the heroes. She's like just totally confused. Ulfa gets his pitchfork but sort of aims it at you, then aims it at Galliveil, then aims it at Thud, then he sort of doesn't know what to do. He's a bit overawed by your sudden action. As you grab Leifa, there's this steely gaze in his eyes, which you would not expect. You would expect fear, absolute. Okay, but as you grab him and you tell him plainly, that it's the knife or the truth, he says, I am a descendant of the great warrior Erika. My father said I was destined for glory and riches. And you see the parents and everyone's like, where the F did this come from? What the hell? And he says, my father said I was destined for glory and riches with my woman beside me. And he points to Katia, who blushes, because they're both young, like they're 15, 16 years old. And he says, and yes, so I took what was mine. I took the sword from the cairn, but I regret it. I have been praying to the gods for forgiveness, but they are not listening. I buried it in the crop. And like the mother faints, she's out. She can't believe it. Heimer's like his jaw just hits the floor. But Ulfa says, boy, where did you put it? We need to return it to this creature. And he says, I buried it in the what's the field that got hit? The currant grove. All right, so he tells you that hopefully that does relay that he did take the sword and he's buried it in the kale grove, in the currant grove that looks like it's been decimated by a fire of some description. Well done. Well done, guys, in getting to that bit of info at this critical time. And luckily, the Draugr acts last, so I do applaud you on your action, but it's not over yet. That is Hestava and Birgit, and let's go to Galliveil.
All right, so just I want it on the record that I was laughing for the whole time of Hestava turning bad cop. It was a good chuckle.
I didn't see that coming. Let's just say that.
I felt it from the first interactions back in town. But so position-wise, so this Draugr is coming from the south, and the red currant field is in the northwest. Is that correct?
He's standing just for for the fact of it.
Because position is important for what I want to do.
Yeah, between you and the currant grove. So the turf house, him, and then the currant grove. Between the turf house and the currant grove.
Can I make a
So-
request? Could we change the background image to the map?
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I will do that. Good thinking, GM.
Okay.
Assistant
While you're
GM,
doing
you'll
that,
have to put all your tokens back there. As long as you don't mind that, if you need it.
That's fine. I think this will help but I am thinking I have a teleport spell up to one previously visited spot. So I can teleport myself to the path just north of the Kale Grove and go around north of the Kale Grove behind the Draugr to the Red Currant Field and try to locate where the dagger has been buried, and then try to just like unearth it and then just point it out for the Draugr. That's my thinking.
And we could we like distract it for you while you do the digging? Would that be helpful?
Sorry, could you do what while I'm digging?
Could we distract the Draugr? Yeah, so will you have to do all of that digging?
Yeah.
Maybe distract it. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good to me.
I'm not entirely look, reveal magic is a touch. I'm not sure how I'd find it. I've still got 2 rounds of Darksea, but the teleport allows me just to like get to the other side of this Draugr. It's either that or I take a couple of pot shots at it now to try and wear it down. But is it looking like really big and really?
It's a large creature, same size as Freddy and the horses. But
okay,
look,
I mean, we could sort of knock it down, but then if this is a guardian that's come back from the dead, like who's to say there won't be any further undead that are unearthed and driven towards here, as well as the animals. So yeah, I'm inclined to just sort of go and dig it up, and because I can get to the other side of the Draugr, I will do that. So I will teleport to the path just north of the Kale Field that we came in on, so that I can go around the north side of the Kale Field and not go through where the rats are.
Easy. You can cast teleport. It's your turn, is it?
Yep.
Or are you speaking out of turn? Yep, okay.
It is my turn.
Yep,
That's
no
why I'm
worries.
speaking. Yep.
Roll 1 dice.
And this is to see if it goes off successfully. So this is important.
Correct.
So I'm going to roll 2 with the hero point used.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing I did. Well, actually, the first
Nice.
dice would have succeeded.
Yep,
That's all right.
you got the 1 success, and you can
to make sure this
grab your
worked.
token. I don't know, is your token on the screen?
I haven't replaced it yet. No.
Okay, you can replace it up where the word Kale Patch is, and we'll assume you're at the north of that patch.
Yep. I'll just.
Actually, no, just put yourself on the road. Yeah, there. Yep, well done.
So
All
yeah,
right.
it basically is up that way, and then using my movement for this turn to try and like get.
Oh, smart. I'll give you that.
As far
I'll pay
across
that. You can
as I
tell.
can.
You can't make it all the way, but you can make it halfway.
No, yeah.
So you can just.
I can
you
teleport
move
to
yourself
there,
here.
and then I can get
Yep.
as far as I can.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's halfway
Happy with
between
that?
and the grove.
Yep, I'll move you there. And I'll say, because it's pitch black out there, you still had Darksea
I've got
points.
Darksea 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you got 1
So
left.
can I
after
see
that.
with it all burnt down? I guess there's ash and ground, but are there? I guess my next round I'll be going through and trying to find any unusual mounds of earth that
that'll
have been
be
dug
it.
up.
Right now, you've teleported, you've moved through to the north of the cow patch. You can hear the rodents all like going back in their holes and eating, but they don't seem like
Yep.
they're, activated.
And I assume I've got
as you
cover
move
from behind the cow patch too.
Yeah,
for
as
the
you
most part.
move to the clearing where you have to go across the open to the Red Currant
Of course.
Grove, the only thing that I'll say just to build the tension, you hear the creature again in that feminine malice yell out, "I sense its presence. I know it to be here," which makes you a bit uneasy.
Okay.
Given you're going there. But the
I'm just trying to help it.
Red Currant Grove is just all burnt husks of what would have been a field. Okay,
Yeah, I think before I leave, I would have been
catches
like,
your eye.
I would have said, turn around to everyone else inside and gone, keep it distracted. I will try and dig this thing up. And then I sort of just blink out with like my sort of staff. The fine carving in the staff sort of start to glow that soft green again, and then like that there's a flash of green, and then I'm gone.
Before you go, I would have asked
Yep.
the question: can you take someone with you?
No, it's a teleport on self.
Okay.
Good
Otherwise,
question,
I would
though.
have teleported.
All good questions.
Yeah.
All right, you're there, Thud.
Right. Thud's now fuming because he hasn't had a chance to hit anything, and Freddy's bleeding. So
Yeah.
he turns around to. I think there's Hestava's gone, right? So it's Birgit and
No.
Oh, no,
Galliveil.
she's still here.
You're all there.
Hesta's still
You're all
here.
there. Hestava has
Galliveil's
one
gone.
hand on the scruff of Leafer's
Yeah.
throat.
I didn't say scruff. I said the throat.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So
Fair enough.
Galliveil is gone, right?
Galliveil's gone.
Galliveil's gone.
Okay, so I look at Birgit and Hestava, and I said, "Whoever's the fastest, take this kid with you, and help Galliveil search for the blade. The other one, come with me. Let's keep this thing distracted." And I charge out, open the door, and I charge towards this thing. Can I make it in time? So,
Yep.
can I make it in turn? So I'd
Yep.
hit it.
You can.
Is the fire
Alright.
out yet? Sorry, just before you go out the front door, is there fire or not?
He burges with his adrenaline and the epic nature. He just charges through the flame. You emerge on the other side. At the same time, the Draugr bellows out as if, yes, finally, a challenger. And you also hear the cackling of the woman say, "You will all be killed." Anyway, you burst out mono a mono with the Draugr. Make your attack
Yes.
as you swing your two-handed axe.
As Thud is jumping through the fire for a split second, his mind, for a microsecond, a thought flashes into his mind. A deep breath, needs a few more spices. And then he charges towards this thing.
You're wearing your crown, are you? I put your crown in your equipment, in your identity. Your
Yep, so I'm
gallery.
wearing crown. I'm still kitted with my crown. Yes. So
all right.
can I do 2 attacks on it?
Okay,
that
well, this is how it
possibility? Is
works,
it-
right? It's a good question. You get 2 dice to hit 1 attack. If you want to make a
Yep.
second attack, it costs you a dice. But remember, some targets need 2 successes to hit. So an extra attack will cost 1 dice. So you'd have to, if you wanted your original 2 dice, you need a hero point. But the second attack always does a maximum of 1 point. So instead of doing 2, you would do 3 damage. But it costs
so
you a dice.
so I could do a first attack with 2 dice, and then second attack with 1 dice only.
No, you have to decide before you roll, and you only make 1 roll. If you succeed, you'll get 2 hits. The first hit would do 2, second hit would do 1.
Right. Okay.
But it costs you a
And
dice.
could I use my hero points on this?
Yeah. Yep. So the first question
so
is, if you want to hit twice, do you want to use a hero point so you've still got 2 dice to roll?
I will use my hero points. Yes, I'm gonna hit twice.
Okay. All right. Roll 2 dice. If you succeed, you've hit it twice with your axe.
Okay.
Thud's been activated. You're very good at combat, so
Aw,
you're the
man,
one.
no.
Oh my god! Why did I say you were very good at combat?
That looks like a hero point coming in.
Use another hero point coming up. Okay.
No. Mine is 5, so I rolled 2 6s.
Yeah. So do you want to use another hero point to re-roll?
Yes.
Yep.
Come on, dice. Yes.
They can't be any worse than we just
Yeah.
rolled.
All right. You get 1 hero point back. So boost your now. So I'll just to let you know, you've done 2 points with the first cut, and you can describe how that is, and then you follow up with the second attack that does 1 point. You can use a hero point to add a maximum of 1 point to the total of that barrage, bringing it to 4 if you wish. Otherwise, you've done 3 points damage.
Yeah. Now I'm angry, so there's another hero point gone. Yes.
Jeez. All right. Okay. Describe how you attack it.
So so he jumps over the fire. Thud's angry. He's fuming. He's frothing at the mouth. He's screaming. He's yelling. He's bellowing out the ultimate challenge. He rushes towards this creature, and before he reaches, as soon as he gets into melee range, he gets into stance, feet planting into the ground, and you can see all his weight on his knees as he's bent, and then he lets out a massive swing, aiming straight across his body from basically neck to kidney. Best strike. And then without missing a beat, he swings his axe right back into action, slashing across this creature on his chest, second strike.
Ooh. You know that damage of 4 points, I'll make sure I do the right amount here. Not many would withstand that amount of damage, but as its body splices open and ichor and bone fly onto the farm field, the figure doesn't seem to even notice the hits, aside from the fact that it gets tugged left and right with the two massive blows, but it doesn't seem to be staggered or affected in any way. You could only hope that 4 points has reduced some type of life force to stop its animated fury, but nonetheless it continues its rage. As we go to the next in the order, which is the Droga. It looks at you, almost smiles if it could with its deformed, broken face. Roll 2 dice. It gets 2 attacks, and the dice you're rolling are the types of attacks. So just give me 2 dice.
Okay, I will roll 2 dice. Give me a sec.
Very brave attacking this. Very brave.
Ooh.
1 and 6. All right, let's have a look. Okay.
Thus ended the line of Thud Grabita.
Okay, it first of all tries to smash you with its fists, so you can dodge, or I think you can only dodge because you don't have block as a skill. You don't have like a shield or a one-handed weapon. Yeah, so roll. You need 2 successes, so the only way you're going to be able to dodge its attack is by using a hero point. Do you have a hero point to use if you want to? Yep. You need 2 successes.
I will roll 2 dice.
You're pretty good at defending as well. Oh no! Do you want to use a hero
Of
point
all
or
the
it's
time,
hit
I'm
you?
getting it fixed now.
Hero point to reroll or cop the damage?
Reroll. I've only got 2 hero points left. I think I will cop the
Reroll.
No,
Okay.
go on, reroll.
Reroll.
I'll
Go
reroll.
on.
I'll reroll.
Now, before you
The crowd is
reroll and use
open.
a hero point, it gets 2 attacks. This is only its first attack.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's a round, so therefore it's going to be important, right?
Look, if you take this damage, then you also get another attack to face as well. If you can.
But if he knows how much damage he's going to take, then he'll know how important it is to re-roll the second one.
But if he ends
Is
up
my
dead,
thought. It could be
if he ends up
information
dead,
collected.
if he ends up dead before he gets to make that decision, that's
Yeah, you've got to be
Yeah,
alive
true.
to make a decision.
Mm.
I tell you what, I'll take the chance. I will do one more. I'll reroll. So I forgot. Was I 2 hero points? Or I'll just take the bite. 1 hero point left.
You said 2.
Yeah, you've only got 1 left
5
now.
and 1. Yes.
Yep, all right,
Dodge.
you don't get a hero point because defending doesn't get it. All right, it brings its
Yep.
massive fist as if to try to pummel you into the earth, but you manage to just dodge as it smashes the ground like the Hulk, and you see the ground sort of crack a little bit. You're like, okay, that's not good. It can crack the ground. With its second attack, it raises its body back up, but instead of doing a physical attack, all of a sudden in front of you, this creature appears. He says, trying to get it ready. Here we go. Do I already have it ready? Be good if I did. No, bad GMing. All right. This figure
If
appears
it doesn't
in front
appear, it
of
doesn't
you.
exist. Oh, damn.
Nearly, but I just got it in time. Okay, so this figure appears in front of you, and it is a half corpse visage. The goddess of death appears in front of you, calling you to Helheim. You need to make a mind check as it reaches out, and these black wisps of darkness envelop your head as it tries to suck your soul into hell. Look, it's a mind check, and it's a hard mind check, so for you it's going to be almost impossible, but do you want to use a hero point and try? You need 2 successes.
I don't have any. Oh, I have 1 hero point left. All right. You know what? Risk it. So
All right.
2 dice.
good.
Yep, you need both of them to be 5 or 6s.
Oh dear lord. Hey, why not? Nope.
It sucks.
I've got 3 and a 1.
It sucks
Oh, no.
your soul or your essence, some of your life force, and you can even feel your muscles and your bulking strength start to atrophy a little bit as it sort of withers you away for 2 points damage. So you are still alive. All right, you survived those 2 attacks. Let us go to the top of the order. Birgit.
So Birgit's going to look at Hestava and Leafa and just say, look, I'm not as fast as you, but I guess she's a little bit intimidated by what's happened. She's just going to say, do you want me to take Leafa to get the sword, or would you rather do that?
Oh, are you asking me or are you asking your party members, yeah?
I'm asking Hestava.
Yeah, Hestava.
Okay. And does that give Hestava the next turn or not? I mean, because
I'm considering this just like asking
It's
which
just a
which of us
question,
is
yeah, I think.
taking which of the actions. Yeah, it's just a question.
yeah, which to me makes Hestava's turn the next one. Doesn't mean you sacrifice your turn, as far as I understand the rules.
Anyone
it
can
just-
talk
yeah.
unless you're doing an action. So she's not
Yeah, but it
performing
just-
her
I'm
action.
I'm just asking you: is Birgit going to be running out and running like offense, or is she going to be going with Leafa to the Red Current Grove?
Right, but my understanding of like the fact that like you asked that question is that
It's just like a it's
you're giving to me. You're giving Hestava the next action.
No.
I'm
she's
not giving you the next action. I'm giving you.
Oh, okay.
I'm
All
just figuring out which
That's
action
kind
is
of
Birgit
okay. That's
taking.
kind of important to me. It's like because at the moment
You know
I
what?
think that-
Whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for you.
You can
I'm always
you
difficult.
can-
I'm not trying
you
to
can
be.
actually say, I mean, you can metagame and say, what I'd like to do is X, can you help me do that? I mean, you can plan your action so that you can work together. You don't have to be surprises. You don't have to say, is it my action?
Especially
Is it my
because we're next to each other in the turn order,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but you need to say, like, if you want to perform an action, you want Birgit, her action to be helping, then you probably need to say that now. Like, or at least reveal your plan.
okay. So my
Yeah.
next reaction would be that Hestava would acknowledge whatever is being said, but would drag the little shit out into the into the courtyard, into the space outside of the
Okay,
hut.
so she's going to be going with Leafa into the Red Current Grove, which means that Birgit is going to be on offense. So Birgit's going to leave you with Leafa. She's
Cool.
going to go outside,
Cool.
and everything looks pretty terrifying. But she's going to attempt to help Thud by seeing if she can take the giant corpse down, and she's going to cast Missile.
Cool.
Yeah, the good news for you, as you concoct that plan, is that the Draugr is larger than Thud, so you don't have a penalty to hit. So it's just a normal attack. And you're doing range, so you only need 1 success to hit this large creature.
Okay, and I only get 1 dice to roll for spells, correct?
Yeah.
Great, okay.
But you're pretty good at casting them. There you go. It does
Yep.
another point as your lighter. Yours is sort of like a blaze of light as it pummels into the creature. Do you want to use a hero point to do an extra point of damage? It's currently on 5 points damage.
How bad is it looking?
It doesn't look phased at all, but it's dripping. Like it has 2 massive gashes where black ichor is spilling out. Some of its bones has been dislodged. Your thing blasts a hole in it so you can... a big chunk of its shoulder comes out. It looks like you're thinking, how's this thing even alive? Already when you saw it, you thought, how's this thing alive? So there's something propelling this thing onwards. It doesn't seem any physical damage is causing it any sort of trauma. So
Okay,
those
I
5
wanna
points
draw
are 5
aggro.
physical points.
I'm going to draw aggro, and I'm going to use 1 extra hero point to do an additional point of damage.
As you do that point of damage to bring it to 6, it staggers back, and you hear, which tells you that you have actually heard it. So 6 points of damage has done something, and you hear the woman say, "No, if you fell the Draugr in combat, the curse will be lifted." And that voice emanates from inside the Draugr. So that...
thanks.
Yeah.
Good information. I appreciate it.
Damn! It says, did I say that out aloud?
No, you didn't.
As we go to Hestava.
Okay, so on the basis that I don't think she actually knows that information, I think I'm going to stick with what she would have done, which was she will drag the little shit out into the open. But
the parents
before doing
scream,
so,
"Mercy, mercy, brave warriors, brave cleric. He's but a child. He has begged forgiveness with the gods."
and maybe in that space of time when they're whining about their little shit, who is a little shit, Hestava will have called light upon herself.
Ooh, here we go. Okay, so you're dragging Leafa outside with you and casting light.
Yes, but specifically upon Hestava herself, and specifically still within the hut when she calls upon it. So
Let's roll it.
That's how many D?
1 dice, and it's a mind check. Will the gods be smiling
I am
on you?
rolling
They
spectacularly
do.
well today,
And that's
because
a hero point as
I
well.
keep rolling 3s.
Yeah, that's the magic number for you.
Yeah,
Add a hero
for Hestava,
point
it's
as-
absolutely the magic number. Yeah.
What colour is this?
So
slide? Is it red as well?
she drags the little shit out of there, and she is calling upon her god, and yeah, it's like if Lankomai believes in her and as much as she believes in him, then at this point she is probably as deep grey as it gets. She has
Ooh.
She is probably like a 3-foot beard at this point.
Damn, I wish I had a token for that.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, she is full, and she is dragging him into, and it's like, this is the cause of your pain. He will submit, and he will ask forgiveness.
He says, as his
Whether
parents are screaming...
whether the little shit does that or not is a different question, but she believes it.
Bertie's gonna say, "What the hell are you doing? Just find the sword. Why are you punishing a child?"
He says, "I'm."
Is that out of character or in character? Because I'm happy to answer it both ways.
He says, "I am not afraid. Do not worry. I will see my ancestors in Valhalla." It's like...
Thud turns around and tells him, "Throw the child to me. I'll use him to fight this thing."
You drag him out. Do you want to? You can, if you wish, drag him into melee range of the Draugr.
Yes. Yeah, I think Hestava will be, because it's not so much that she's dragging him in. She's dragging him into melee. She's walking herself into melee with the cause of this problem.
Yes.
So yes, if you wish to say that, however you translate that, that's her perspective. She's simply dragging this little fucktard who's caused all of these problems into the space where we have to answer these problems.
Yes, you can do that, as long as you know that both you and Leafa will be a target if it gets to that.
Absolutely.
All right, you move him in, and he starts, trembling, even though his word said that he's ready. And he says, "I will see you soon, father," as he sort of starts crying, and his parents are screaming, but they're too scared to come out. The farmhand, he calls out, "You are a monster! You will be cursed by the gods if you sacrifice that boy!" He calls out. All of a sudden, he seems to have a bit more stature as he sort of steps forward, but still very conscious that he doesn't feel like he could match, the likes of the heroes. But as you move into that melee range, we will see what unfolds. Let me have a look here at the turn order. Before we go to Galliveil, as you move this boy in there, the voice of the death goddess, pretty much, who's possessing the Droga, you hear the voice cry out, "Is this the thief that stole the blade that you bring before the goddess of Helheim?" Seems to be asking you, Hester. "Lay him before the Droga as sacrifice to the gods."
And she will attempt to push him to his knees.
He's like, he doesn't have any control of not only his legs, his bodily function. He's just like quivering. He starts saying a prayer to the gods, so hoping that his body will meet his father, because he still believes that he's destined for greatness in this world or the next. And he calls you a witch. "You are a witch," and he spits at you as you drop him to his knees. And I apologize to anyone else either watching or playing. All right, Galliveil, with your Pathfinder, indeed, you do notice not tracks, but you notice a mound. It seems to be blackened more than any other part of this grove. It almost seems as though perhaps a strike of lightning hit this particular area, casting this blackness and setting the grove afire. You can almost imagine it in your mind that this would have occurred. And indeed, in front of you, you see a mound of blackened dirt that seems displaced, not part of the natural grove.
And I use the butt of my staff just to sort of like knock the earth away until I can sort of see the blade, because I'm assuming that the boy wouldn't have dug it too deep, especially if the mound's kind of exposed.
Yes,
let's try
indeed, as
quickly
a free action. It looks as though whatever it was attempted to be buried here was done very quickly and without much thought, just covered with minor bit of dirt. And as you do,
as a little boy trying to hide his like stolen treasure, so it was
pretty
it's not
much
in detail.
And as you do knock it,
I'm going to
I'm
going to yell out, "Arikur, your blade is here. Take it and leave." And then I'm going to back away from the spot.
All right, Thud, your turn. You hear all this happening. The boy is taken away. The Draugr still looks like it's in a rampant, mode of aggression, because it has a warrior's spirit, and it looks like it's, almost enjoying the fact that A, it's getting injured, and B, it has you locking horns with it. Do you want to continue your assault as the call for the sword is out, and it looks like the goddess of death has her victim?
Did you say the goddess of death has a victim? Sorry?
Yeah, I'm not trying to elaborate on it, but basically she's happy that she has the child, but the Draugr is still fighting you.
Okay. So before my action, I'll scream at the Draugr. Your blade has been found. You can go rest now. But if you still wish to fight, I'll raise my axe. I'll happily oblige.
You see it bellows and says, "Fight me in mortal combat. You are worthy, warrior." And it looks like it still wants to fight.
Radio then. Okay, so I will hit it.
You could
I don't
move
have
out
any
of
hero
range.
points. Yes, so I will hit it and move out of range.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's see if you can have a strike at it.
Yeah.
You need 2 successes.
Yep. Oh, 2. Nah, I can't then. I don't have any hero points.
No, you've got two. You've got 2 dice with your 2-handed weapon, so you can still hit it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
2 successes.
Okay, so 2 successes. Come on, success. Ah, man. Oh, I got a 6 and a 5 still. So, if I get a hero point with that, can I
You don't,
use it?
because
sort
remember,
of?
you only get a hero point if successful. That action's fail, because you needed 2 successes. So, you
I'm running on
flail at it.
success.
It deflects you with its, massive bicep, and it sort of hits against the hilt of your sword. And on your move action, you want to evade.
Yeah, I will disengage and go sort of, it's probably for him to move to get to me. So probably up to, I'm
Yeah.
not sure, how far can I go?
You can go back to the farmhouse or the temple or the rats, or you can go to the sword if you want to go to the sword. It's all in near distance.
All right, actually, I'll run up to the sword and I'll pick it up in the next action.
Oh, you can pick it up now as a free action.
All right, yeah, I'll pick it up.
Okay, as soon as you pick it up, you feel power emanate through you, almost giving you an insatiable desire to like attack and kill things. But the only target close by you see is Galliveil. As you turn to look at him, and Galliveil, you see Thud pick up the sword, and he has a funny glint in his eye for some reason.
I'm going to yell out to all three, fly to the village.
Fly to the village. Oh, the one you came
Yeah,
from.
because my next turn, I'm teleporting back to the village because my companions
You can only
pick up a curse.
teleport a
It's
far
not my turn.
distance. Yeah, you can only
Yes,
teleport a
well,
far
I'll be going
distance.
back
So,
as far as I can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm
you
basically
call
I'm
to
ready.
fly.
I'm ready to
Fly,
run
you
because I'm
fool,
feeling
fly.
threatened.
Yeah. As I was just building up some eminent, just some tension, because as it comes to the Draugr's turn, as he rages, "Do not run from me, warrior!" The light of Hestava, who moved in to offer the boy, shines upon the creature. He raises his hands to his face, and the goddess of death appears and says, "Come, Erika, claim your sword. It is time for the dead to rest once again." They move towards you, Thud. This is their action. So their action is not to attack. They move towards you, and the goddess of death extends her hand. What do? You feel like this thing is giving you power to attack if you wish to use it.
Is there any type of roll I can do for my sanity to see if I can think straight or not?
You've got total control of your thoughts, nothing's controlling you, but you feel as though if you do attack something, you're going to either cause more damage or be more effective at attacking by holding this sword. It just makes you feel very aggressive. But nothing's stopping you from handing the sword to her.
I look at the goddess and say, "Will this end if I give you this sword?"
The terms have been met. The scorn curse has been sated. We have found the thief of the cursed blade, and to return it now to Erika the Drogo, he will return to his rest.
And what of the boy?
We do not need the boy any longer. His bravery to sacrifice himself was enough.
Okay, so my terms, the sword for the boy?
It is done. Hand it over. Yes, I change my mind and strike you down with the fury of dark lightning.
I hand over the sword.
As you do, this ethereal hand, which is essentially the goddess, moves the sword to Drogo, who's still trying to fight it because he wants to fight as well. But he grabs a sword, and as soon as he grabs a sword, you see this visage of someone before they were turned into the Drogo, of a warrior that does resemble very much the boy Leifa, perhaps his father or an ancestor, as he has mentioned at a time long ago. And slowly but surely, the goddess and the Drogo return to the hills where the dead can rest once more. You have succeeded in the cursed farm. As everything returns to normal, the moonlight returns, You realize the curse on the farm is lifted. Bjorg and her husband and the kids, they all hug Leifa, welcoming back to the family once more. And over the following days, the mice abandon the kale field. The bullocks that you spared, a very valuable asset to the farm, returns to its former placid self. Unfortunately, the current grove still remains ruined, but Bjorg opens a jar and you see she's kept a few viable seeds, and she moves with Galliveil to help plant them, knowing that he was the one to help locate the sword that was hidden in the dead shrubs. And in time, she says, and with a bit of luck from the gods, there will be new sprouts and new shrubs. They thank you and wave you on as you return back to civilization and to receive your purse. Before we give an epilogue to finish up, everyone can roll their purse. Their reward for completing this is 6 plus 2d6 gold pieces. So if you want to roll that, you can add that to your coin pouch.
So 6 plus 2d6.
Galliveil must have had a lot of debts. Yeah, 6 plus 2d6. Are you still there, Hestava? Hestava?
Yes, I just rolled.
Oh, did you?
I failed miserably to change the subtitle. And we will have an awful lot of conversation, at least I think, in terms of what the player did compared to another player, but yes.
Oh, that's okay. I can't even see your dice roll, but as long as you've rolled, that is fine. What did you roll?
I'm seeing a 19, a 1, a 5, a 1, a 6, a 3,
No,
and a 1.
not turn order.
10.
Sorry, I meant you get 6 plus 2 dice. See how the others have rolled just 2 dice?
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I misunderstood completely.
Yeah, I thought that when I saw that. So 6 plus 2 dice.
Hopefully
There you
slightly
go.
more accurate.
Okay. Yes, 6 plus 7, all right, 13. Yes, so add your gold purse, and I will add Birgit's outside the session. And let us go to the epilogue. We'll say, oh, actually, before we do that, there's a 1 in 6 chance that someone accomplishes a goal or achieves accomplishes a goal or actually gains an artifact. So I would have got Birgit to roll, being the new player, but let us get Galliveil. Choose a number between 1 and 6. If you roll that number, someone randomly will gain an achievement.
1.
Always go the 1. You know you like that number. Oh, no way! Okay, everyone roll a 6d6, and whoever rolls the highest gains the achievement.
After my gold roll, that was, I think, 2.
Well done. All right, everyone roll turn order. The highest result will gain the achievement. 20, 29.
So
It's up
many
to
6s
Hester.
and 5s.
It's up to Hester. Can you
No,
trump that? Stop him.
I was going to back her out of this on the basis of some stuff that's happened. So.
Okay,
Cool.
no worries. So you can just make a note on your character sheet somewhere, Galliveil, that you've gained an achievement, and then between sessions we can talk about what that is. It'll either be an artifact or you've accomplished a goal that will help you in future adventures. With that said, let us all do the epilogues. Again, you've been successful. You did very well to finish that off without any casualties. Almost perfectly executed that, I would say, aside from our little discrepancy, which again I do apologize for. Let us do turn order for the epilogues to finish it up, starting with Hestava. Hester, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to need. My brain's elsewhere at the moment, so I'm going to
Okay.
need some strict instructions. Thank you.
No worries. This is just an epilogue where Hester moves after this adventure, having returned the cursed farm back to normality. So I'll skip you, and if you are ready, you can do something at the end. So what about Galliveil?
Yeah, please.
Yep.
Galliveil, I think, will, at the end of this adventure, think, all right, I've been to mountains and there was a hag sort of banshee thing. I've been right next to hills and there was a shadow sort of undead thing. Maybe I should stay out in flat ground for a while and I'll go spend some time amongst some like very flatland sort of foresty sort of places. And I will return Red to Hestava with great thanks, and Red was a very faithful horse and kept me safe and travelled well.
Excellent.
But I don't think I'd spend too much time back in Fellhorde's Crest, because I think after all of this, like I was about to sort of say, just before all that sort of the ending went down, I was about to say, as my term was about to start, I would have said, even with Galliveil's lack of social awareness, even he would have been thinking, I wonder how Hester really thinks of the child, sarcastically. A child misbehaving, yes, I think that was, it felt like a bit of like a nanny sort of dragging him by the ears a little bit. And so I think he's gaining a little bit of social awareness from that, of like, okay, I think that sort of, that this kid is like misbehaved, this kid's misbehaved kind of message pervading through this mission has made Galliveil more aware of the people around him, and a bit of sort of a judgment on their actions. So I think he's gained a bit of social awareness from this.
Very good. What about Thud? Where do you go from here?
So Thud, before he leaves, Thud will have very stern words with, was it Lufa, his name?
Leafa, yep. More.
Yep.
This
Thud
is
will have very stern words with, sorry? Yeah.
No, keep
Oh
going.
yeah, he'll have very stern words with Lufa, and basically tell Lufa, listen, you were never in any real danger with this party, but what you did could have cost us all our lives. And then
I have learned my
Thud
lesson.
leaves, and good.
It will not happen
Because
again.
if I ever hear you doing anything this silly, I'll feed you to my frog. And then I returned back to the village where I forgot the name of the village, where Sigmunda was the chief.
Fjordheld's Crest, I think.
Yes. And because I find the guy who took me for 2 silver, and I paid 2 extra silver to hire a barn, and I forced that guy to to sort of nurse Freddy back to health.
Okay. I was scared where that was going. Yes, you do take him to the barn, and the village tells you that he's the village drunk, essentially, and after becoming sober, he does regret his actions, and he helps nurse Freddy back to full health. He doesn't take the 2 extra silver. Oh no, you hired a barn. Yeah, that's fair enough.
I hired a barn. Yep.
That makes sense. Very good. And yes, anything else?
No, that's it. That's Thud.
Beautiful. Thank you. And last but not least, Hester, do you feel like epilogue, or do you wander off into the distance?
Well, I will try. Please feel free to jump in if I don't get anything that you'd like. But I think that Hestava and Birgit are going to have a relatively stressful return to the village where we picked up the pony. That Birgit, it clearly doesn't understand or agree, but Hestava feels that a 15 to 16-year-old human has all of the responsibility that they've taken on their shoulders. Their actions are not simply forgivable just because they're a little bit young. And when they choose to do something as heinous as strip another creature of something important to it, they don't get to pass on those failings. They don't get to absolve themselves of responsibility just because they're under some sort of significant number. But she also understands that Birgit, who as a dwarf I'm sure would have a very different perspective of what 15 or 16-year-olds might mean.
With that,
And
she just welcomes. She ponders on how she may have went on that path because she was going to be a cleric at one point, but she let her mother down and she became a lower wizard, a lower of the magical casting order. But she somehow does not regret that decision, and she still continues on her thoughts that the child was not of punishment didn't fit the crime, but agrees to disagree.
Possibly she might even feel that Hestava has simply proved that clerics are not always to be trusted.
Yeah, I think we'll leave that at that because I don't want to put words in her character's mouth or thoughts. But yeah, you do explain your ways as best you can to finish off. So with that, I will say thank you to everyone and for those watching, and we will see you on the next adventure. See you later.
See ya. See ya.